Infantino's sell-off plan was absolutely necessary and beyond question. He also said he believed in FIFA serving the game with commitment, transparency and integrity. But Darren McAntony reckons the statement is 5 days too late.
You'd have more credibility if he'd come out before the end of pay month, the end of July, when he's probably getting a cheque cashed or whatever else for his jobs. If he'd come out then and said, look, line in the sand, I don't agree with this. So, again, what he's saying now is irrelevant, isn't it?
Quick transfer line for you. Coventry City have permanently signed Carl Rushworth for £22.5 million. He was on loan last season from Brighton. Now, Everton's Tony Bellew has told talkSPORT what he thinks Jack Grealish should do next season.
We'd absolutely love him back. And if I'm being totally honest, I'm sure he'd love to come back. It'll depend on what this Maresca really wants, doesn't it? Will he be having him? And that's what it'll be. I think they'll have conversations with this Maresca or whatever have you. And if they don't fit, then I think hopefully he can come back.
And MMA fighter Alan Nascimento has died at the age of 34. According to the UFC, the Brazilian flyweight was found unresponsive on Monday morning after suffering an apparent heart attack in his sleep. His last fight was a split decision loss to Mitch Raposo in June.
talkSPORT News.
Victims are welcoming new plans to keep prisoners convicted of rape, child sexual abuse and grooming in jail. And Gatwick's getting a second runway. I'll be back in half an hour.
talkSPORT weather with QuickFit. With over 600 centres across the UK, most of which open 7 days a week, we're always there when you need us. QuickFit. Drive away happy every time.
Persistent, at times heavy rain will continue in the north with a risk of hail and thunder across Northern Ireland. Scattered showers elsewhere, mainly in western areas, dry in the south with warm temperatures.
This is Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs with you through until 4 here on talkSPORT, where this afternoon, Andy, please tell us what's coming up.
Well, coming up over the next 3 hours, we'll ask an Arsenal title winner how optimistic he is about landing Bruno and Vinny. We'll dip into the Manchester United audio archive, and Palace fan, comedian and Price of Football co-host Kevin Day on why Andy Burnham may tread carefully around the Premier League.
Indeed. We'll also welcome your suggestions for what Gianni Infantino might do after the FIFA presidency.
He needs a job.
I think he does, yeah. Maybe he will open a pub.
That's what we thought, yeah.
What would it be called if he went into...
The Crooked Billet.
OK, fair enough. That's not why. It's a very popular name, of course.
OK.
For a pub.
Yeah.
What else we got? Yes, David Morrissey, Liverpool fan and actor, will be popping in to see us on his way to work, and we'll bring you the July clips of the month.
There's all this, plus Steve Harmison reacts to Ben Stokes' revealing podcast appearance, and the author of a book highlighting how Donald Trump cheats at golf gives us his take on the president's latest club championship victory.
Yeah, Donald Trump has won yet another club championship.
Fantastic.
At a club he owns. He hasn't actually won one at a club he doesn't own.
What a surprise.
Which has kind of limited his... yeah. Anyway, that's all coming up a little bit later on. It is 5 minutes past 1. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Andy.
Good afternoon, everybody. I watched the second half of Celtic against...
I caught some of it. Every time I tuned in, Celtic were missing chances, but they got there in the end. They were a bit wasteful, weren't they?
They were a bit wasteful. Dundee put up a good fight for a while, but then in the end it was typical. It's always hard to judge how good Celtic are because of the opposition. They played some nice football after they went ahead. I see, though, that following the World Cup, Sky have adopted the match momentum graphic, or as I call it, your eyes.
Yeah.
Honestly, talk about pointless.
Yes.
You know, Celtic were completely and utterly on top in the game, and then they showed it, and you think, Oh yeah, that's
Yeah, well, that's right, yeah.
I never knew.
So that game, I suppose, if you come to it late, if you've just rocked up and you've just tuned in for,
yeah, maybe,
and then you've missed 20 minutes, you think, okay, well, it's. So that was it's against the run of play.
Yeah,
you're working. I think you're being a bit harsh.
You. I didn't like it in the world.
What about the news that Anthony Taylor, the former Premier League referee, is going to be in charge of refereeing in Turkey? So next time we see him, he's going to be out on the pitch, full head of hair, new set of teeth. He's going to look $1 million, isn't he? Yeah. Not Roberto Mancini next time we see him.
I don't think Bluco own a team in Turkey, otherwise he could saw them off as well.
Yeah, still bitter, even though he's gone.
Oh, yeah.
And we wish him well. Good luck with that was our immediate response.
I know, what a strange thing.
Knowing our agricultural, some of the Istanbul derbies can get, he's going to be a busy man, isn't he?
It's a tricky job.
Yeah.
And plenty of stuff about the Beckhams. There's a new book out, actually.
Oh, is there really? Yeah, can't wait to read it.
Oh, yes. Rake up a lot of mud. They're all on holiday. Brooklyn's on holiday. He must be exhausted, isn't he, from all those jobs he's got?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, on the bins and everything. Collecting pots in the local pub.
The whole thing's so orchestrated. You know, the fact they were all both on pedlos and then the picture appears. Oh, for goodness.
Maybe they should have had a pedalo race. That would have been good, wouldn't it?
It would be. Have you seen there's a film coming out?
Why don't you get invited onto Elton John's yacht?
Because I don't know Elton, and if I did, maybe he would invite me, but I don't know him. I doubt whether he would, actually.
Well, let's see if we can get you an invite, because so many people seem to get an invite to Elton John's yacht, didn't they? But sadly, you're missing.
Well, Elton does like advising people on, on their lives.
Yeah.
But it tends to be younger people. I don't think he's going to ring me up and give me a bit of career advice.
Now, you may not know that Andy is a kind of artist. He works in the naive style, I think it's fair to say.
Rubbish style.
But he produces a kind of panini sticker style collection. And his latest one, and it is an arbitrary list. If you've missed the list, Andy, I'm sure will get you on the second edition. But he has done Legends of Radio.
Yes.
Panini Legends of Radio, folks. I'm just going to show that to the camera. Can you see that? There it is. Like a quite naive little cartoon.
I sent it to our dear
headshots.
friend Danny Kelly, and he said it made him laugh, which is good.
Let's give you the lineup then. Wogan.
Fair
Right.
enough. Can't argue with that.
Can't. Wright. Steve Wright. 03717, who's been left off.
Genius.
Howard Stern, New York radio legend.
Invented a type of radio, didn't he?
Alan Bernard Brazil features, and he'll be back tomorrow, folks, on breakfast.
It's old Alan. He's got a bit of weight on him.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you've got his neck. Is that a roll neck jumper he's wearing?
No, it's his triple chins.
One for the teenagers, Archie Andrews, who was a ventriloquist on the radio back in the day. Our old mate Danny Kelly. Roy Plumley, the original presenter of Desert Island.
Well, he invented Desert Island Discs.
And he is 103. Woman's Hour's very own Jenny Murray.
It's a tribute to radio, history of radio, because it can't just be people who are on now and 6 Radio, 6 Live, or whatever it's called.
That's not
called that, is it?
6 Radio, 6 Live. No, I don't think it is. Anyway, whatever that is.
Whatever it is.
Our old mate Trevor Nelson, minus his microwave. You didn't get the microwave in
No,
there,
I should have done, really, yeah.
Our old mate Danny Baker. Lisa Tarbuck, you're a fan of, aren't you?
Oh, massive fan of Lisa.
Tony Hancock. Bob Harris.
Genius.
Chris Evans, obviously just along the corridor.
Can't argue with that.
Annie Nightingale, John Arlett with his pipe. And then, of course, he's put himself on it next to me. And there we are. So,
I did say plus these two. I don't include us in the legend.
Oh, okay. You don't put us under the legends. Okay. No. You have enough humility to do that. Copies available, Andy? Can people buy them?
Well, I suppose they could.
Money going to charity or going to you? Less your expenses.
No, money going to charity.
You're like Gianni Infantino, you aren't you? Fantastic racket going on. So they are some of the legends of radio Andy Jacobs has saluted. Yes, so what's Gianni Infantino going to do after this? I mean, the Arsene Wenger has come out. Now we've got that guy at the World Cup. You saw, he looked like Custer with a bald head. He had a little kind of goatee and a bald head. I didn't know who he was. He was at every game. Most games. I don't know if he was climbing on the old private jet alongside Gianni. But he is the Secretary General of FIFA, and he has really got stuck in as well. Matthias Grafston is his name, and he has had a proper go.
They've probably been wanting to do this for some time.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to believe with all the hierarchy and all the people in senior positions who were around Infantino completely turning on him, how he can survive this. It just doesn't make any sense.
I saw Martin Ziegler on TV, who of course exposed all this.
Yeah, the Times journalist,
and he thinks he's got no chance. He thinks he'll go quite soon, but definitely by March he'll be gone.
So it could drag on until that next
it could do,
Congress.
Yeah.
Wow. He has still, as we said yesterday, he's still got friends in high places. There's a lot of people at different FAs and confederations.
Yeah, but that, by association, that doesn't look good on you either, I don't think.
When has that ever stopped anybody in FIFA? I mean, it's a sea of... It's always been a sea of self-interest. If you're being looked after, if you're getting extra goalposts and kits and footballs and private jets...
Yeah, it's always been an element of that.
That is the problem, but maybe he is running out of friends. We shall see. We're not going to dwell too long on Infantino, unless the white smoke appears and he does actually take over a pub. Nice flat roof pub. Flat roof pub on an estate.
Haulage.
Imagine that. That would be great, wouldn't it? Gianni Infantino, one of those Channel 4 shows, or one of the Sky 1 shows. Gianni Infantino used to run FIFA, but he's now taking on his greatest challenge. He's taking over the Meat Hook pub, a flat roof pub. In one of the less salubrious parts of the country. They have big plans. His trainers wouldn't stay white for long, would they?
They would.
If you think about it, it all went wrong when he started wearing white trainers. That was a sign, wasn't it?
Bad look with that suit.
I think it's symbolic of something. Ladies, if your old man starts wearing white trainers in his 40s, make sure you've got the old number on his phone. Make sure you can get into his phone, because there's something not quite right going on there. Out of nowhere, suddenly wearing white trainers. No. I think he was box fresh as well, wasn't he?
Always.
He had a fresh pair for every game.
I'd say so.
Yeah.
But anyway, he's just overreaching. He made so much of it about him. I mean, the fact that he had to be shown twice a game.
Yeah.
It just doesn't, in the end, that doesn't reflect well on you. That's just poor.
The bold anchor says, careful, Simon. It's not a bad name for a pub.
Very clever.
So what would, and it doesn't have to be a pub. It's other things you think that Gianni might get into.
Gianni's ironing shop he can open next to Deb's in Wakefield.
Imagine that. In Wakefield, he goes head to head with our favourite ironing shop.
Back on Thursday.
The birthday spread returns on
well, I hope
Thursday.
it is. Write it.
Whether you like it or not. Perry Grove's going to kick us off today, though. So let us know what Gianni Infantino might do. Maybe any reality shows. Strictly? Could do Swiss Strictly. Is there a Swiss Strictly? I'd like to think there is.
I imagine there is, isn't there?
Ramon Vegas must have been on.
Must have been on it.
You haven't seen Ramon since his wife seemed to go for him live on national radio. Then we never heard from him again.
She voted for everybody else.
She did.
She
She seemed to come at him with a broomstick, and then we never saw Ramon again. I hope he's all right. So, yes, where were we? Talksport.com, text 81089, tweet to TSH and J, 03717223344 to get in touch this afternoon. We kick off with Perry Grove's going to talk a bit of Arsenal, a team that could be doing two of the biggest deals still remaining in the window. Bruno Guimaraes from Newcastle and possibly Vinicius Junior from Real Madrid.
Seems unlikely.
What are the chances?
The first one seems more likely.
We'll talk to Perry Groves, two-time league champion with Arsenal, about that. Terry Gibson's going to Terry Gibson joins a Spanish football expert, former Manchester United frontman, to talk about some of the Spanish players that have come into the Premier League. Obviously, Arbeloa has brought a couple of players in from Real Madrid to Fulham, and Palace done a bit of business. Talking of Palace, we'll be joined by Kevin Day a little bit later on. He's got a big gig up in Edinburgh, and we'll talk about the power of the Premier League and how Andy Burnham, as the new Prime Minister, may have to tread fairly carefully when we look at the money that is generated by the Premier League for the Exchequer. Steve Harmison is in the building, and it'll be great to get his take on the Ben Stokes podcast pronouncements, which is pretty wide-ranging, some really interesting stuff. We'll talk boxing with Duke McKenzie. We're going to enter the Manchester United archives, audio archives, lots of unheard material through the ages. Wayne Barton will be joining us to tell us about his new podcast. Actor David Morrissey, who's just down the road at the Bridge Theatre from our studios, kindly popping in to see us, talk a bit of Liverpool, chat about the new play, Sherwood, lots of other stuff he's up to at the moment. And yes, Rick Riley, the author of Commander-in-Chief, How Golf Explains Trump, will give us his take on Donald's latest victory in the club championship. He's sceptical, I think it's fair to say.
I'd say
Spoiler alert. So 03717223344, talksport.com, text 81089, tweet TSH and J. We're here as always with our good friends at Tool Station. First stop, Tool Station.
No vin, no fee. That's on the back page of The Sun, with also Arsenal target Vinny Jr. back in training with Madrid. You feel as though, if the Madrid deal happens, he will end up staying. But around Bruno, they've had a deal rejected for £75 million. So do you think Gabby actually, depending on how these plan out, Arsenal might have a quiet window?
Yeah, but they don't need a busy window. Just won the Premier League, and they're going to strengthen. They've lost Trossard. They brought in Zolis, who's a very good winger. If they bring in Bruno Guimaraes, I think that's enough to go again and win the Premier League anyway, even without him. But it's going to make them stronger. And I think he's a fantastic player. I don't think he should be the same fee as Tonali because of the age difference. 3 years older than Tonali. So you look at him, no sell-on value for Arsenal if they sign him. So I think 75, 80 is about right.
30 million less, okay.
Just because of the age I'm looking at.
Okay. Yeah. But they're not going to have... But how important is it that Arsenal do get in a midfield, especially at the start of the season, because they won't have Declan Rice?
Yeah, and they've sold Norgard to Everton, so you're looking at that midfield and you're saying it's a bit light now. I think it's a fantastic player. We're just talking, me and Jeff, off air. That probably says Zubamendi, maybe you're a squad player next season.
Mm.
Yeah, and I think the thing is with Bruno Guimaraes that he's reportedly said that he wants to join Arsenal. So the deal will happen. So from a Newcastle perspective, get it done. Yeah. Don't let this become Alexander Isak Mark II.
Junior landing at Arsenal. Arsenal were already Premier League champions. They were Champions League finalists. They were Champions League semi-finalists last year. You think about the momentum of Arsenal. If he lands at Arsenal and is the missing piece to them winning a European Cup, it immediately becomes money well spent. It probably goes down, off the top of my head here, biggest signing in Premier League history?
The Bruno Guimaraes thing is, for me, I think he'd make such a material difference to Arsenal's midfield, particularly when we're having these types of conversations around Declan Rice.
Arsenal will first of all have to put in a bid, which they haven't done yet. There's been a lot of talk, but they haven't actually tabled an offer. Now, we expect that's going to come, but I think 70 million will be swiftly rejected.
Yes, a couple of big deals they're trying to get over the line, of course, Arsenal at the moment. Let's discuss that and look at the likelihood of both of them with two-time title winner with Arsenal, our very own Perry Groves. Hi, Perry.
Afternoon, boys.
We'll start with Bruno because that seems the most likely one. You just sense, we were talking to Ben Jacobs about it, they just have to reach the figure that Newcastle want. And would you rather they just got on with it?
Yeah, absolutely. Whether it's going to be 75 mil, 77 mil plus add-ons and whatever. So, yeah, instead of just like toying with it, just send a message out to Guimaraes that, how desperately that Arsenal want him. And it's weird, boys. I was talking about this the other day, the way that it's changing football. In the old days, the way that transfers are gone now, that would be called tapping up.
Yes.
You weren't allowed to speak to representatives or to the player before you'd agreed to fee with the club. It's completely sort of changed round where you put your feelers out first and think, do you want to come? And obviously, they know that he does. Newcastle will turn into Chelsea where they're going on the youth route now. So he knows that, Newcastle are on the decline and that he could be part of an Arsenal team that maybe could dominate for the next 3 or 4 years.
Absolutely. And also, are in Europe, and that's a big thing for,
Well, especially at 29, he's, he probably has got one more big move in him. So, do you know what Harry Simi was saying in that little piece before you came on? Did you agree? Do you think he would make a huge difference to the midfield?
Yeah, massive. Because if you look, Zubimendi was really good for probably 2/3 of the season, and then the Premier League caught up with him. He looked a bit heavy-legged, then Lewis Skelly came in there. So if you've got 4 centre midfield players, Declan Rice, Lewis Skelly, Zubimendi and Guimaraes, and then basically you rotate those 4, you don't have a drop-off. And if you think Norgard obviously looks like he's on his way to Everton, so Guimaraes is a massive upgrade on Norgard. And what's happened with Guimaraes at Newcastle, being lucky enough to be coached by Eddie Howe, he was like a hold midfield player. Now he can play as an 8, where I think he got 9 Premier League goals last season, 4 assists. He's passed in the final third. He's brilliant. More through balls than any Arsenal player in the Premier League. So he gives you that bit of difference. And also, he has an edge. He has that little bit of nastiness about him, which I personally think that Arsenal are missing.
And you wonder if Arsenal have got a plan B, because I don't think Vinicius is going to come. He might, but it seems more likely he'll stay.
I think you're being played like an old Stradivarius.
Well, that's very possible. But
Perry.
Surely they've got a plan B, because they sold Trossard, who was so good last year. They need something, don't they? I mean, they've got. Has Martinelli gone? Was he going? I'm not sure.
Well, they've been looking to buy in that area.
But it looks like they that's the area they want to strengthen. So
Zolis is there now, isn't he?
Yeah, maybe that's the plan B.
That you two boys clinging on to that hope that he's just playing with like a kitten with a little ball and wall.
Just wants more money at Real Madrid. He's just playing Jose.
I don't think, be honest, I don't think it matters whether he comes or not. I think Arsenal are going to dominate the Premier League next season. They're the most settled team. You'd be surprised. The only thing that can stop them is this fatigue factor. But other than that, you can't imagine.
Yeah, a slow start.
Why Arsenal wouldn't win it again.
Well, I'm just looking at Vinicius Jr. and then the reports have just come out that Real Madrid won't offer him 100% of his image rights. They're only prepared to offer him 70 to 80%. So they're not going to wrap their offer that was on the table in the first place. And if you was Vinicius Jr. and you're looking, he wants to be like egos come into it. You want to be the main man. You want to be like the big superstar. And Mbappe is the superstar at Real Madrid. So Arteta will be telling Vinicius Jr., you come to us, you'll be the superstar, you'll be the biggest signing that's probably been in the Premier League for the last sort of 20 years, and you can push this big club into areas that they've never been before. Never won the Champions League, he's won it twice with Real Madrid. You'll be the main man, you'll be the top paid player, the whole team will be, sort of built around you. So I think, I must admit, maybe I'm being played, and I'm going to pretend that I'm not looking at it. But like every Arsenal fan, we're scrolling our phones every 45 minutes to an hour just to see what's happening. But if we are being played, it's not. That's where we are at the minute. You want to be in for these massive players, and Arsenal would have made it public, obviously, unless they hadn't have got in contact with his people and said, "Look, would you be interested if Real Madrid don't offer you what you think you're worth?" And if it comes to Arsenal and they put him on £500,000-600,000 a week and smash the wages.
Yeah, that won't be a good thing.
Not one Arsenal fan will be bothered. It won't bother an Arsenal
What
fan.
about the players? The other Arsenal players, I think their agents. They might be bothered.
No, I'll tell you what happens, boys. the Arsenal players won't be bothered if he comes and performs and he pushes Arsenal on to win the Champions League, because all these players are ambitious. The problem you have is if someone comes and they're a big-time Charlie and they're not performing, then that becomes a problem if they're on massive money. But he could be a game changer. And the Premier League, obviously, how big it is all around the world. We know Real Madrid is the biggest club in the world, but I think there's a little bit more still to come in this.
He has built a great team ethic, though, Mikel Arteta. That's been one of his strengths.
And Vinicius is selfish. He's a selfish.
I mean, the point you make is a good one. Tim Vickery has been making it a lot. Vinny wants to be the star, and Mbappe's already there, playing more or less in the same position, playing in those same areas. So it is an issue. Whether it's enough of an issue to get him out of Real Madrid, not many players leave Real Madrid, do they?
You know what? You're still clinging on everything. Not many. Please don't let Vinicius Junior go to Arsenal.
I don't care if he goes to Arsenal. I think it'd be. I don't think it's a guarantee by any stretch of the imagination. You look at him, the way he plays in some games, the way the problems he causes, the selfishness. He's a wonderful player, but he does come with a bit of baggage.
Do you know what happens? The way that Arsenal structured defensively, when Arsenal go into a 4-4-2, basically, if you was Arteta, obviously, as you said there, boys, Arteta wants players that track back, they work, they press. You would say to Vinicius Junior, you're playing on the left-hand side. When it's in their final third, you're going to press. When it isn't, just get yourself back on the left-hand side in front of Rivers left back and go into the 4-4-2. And he can just save his energy. The thing is, it's not so much his work rate off the ball, it's how he is as a person and what his attitude and character's like. And they'd have done their homework on, what Vinicius Junior's like. And we know at Real Madrid, under Ancelotti, it was like playground football, wasn't it? It's like, you four stay up front, we'll have the other five outfield players that defend, and we'll see if we can, the six outfield players defend, we'll see if we can get the ball. That's how Real Madrid played. So, but it's great. Arsenal fans, I talk to, saying we're not getting too carried away. As a fan, this is the time to get carried away.
Yeah,
this is what you want. You want to have that hope. I know the hope that kills you, but, we've got to cling on to the fact that this little bit of news has come out. It makes it maybe a little smaller step forward that he could be coming. And if he isn't, as you said there, boys, they will have a plan B. They will have someone else they need to go and get for that left-sided, attacker. They've got Solis there.
Probably Savinho, after what they did with Eze last season.
Or Rashford. Rashford would be interesting.
Rashford, looks like he's off to Turkey, doesn't it?
Is it?
Yeah. Just very quickly, Perry, Arsene Wenger has issued a statement, which is kind of saying, nothing to do with me, Gov. I'm really only involved in the data analysis. I don't get involved in all this strategic
I didn't know anything
planning.
about it, he said.
Well, I mean, most people didn't, to be fair to him.
True.
I just wonder if the kind of the legacy has been tarnished a bit by what's gone on at FIFA with Arsene Wenger.
I didn't hear it. Instead of I didn't see it,
exactly.
I didn't hear it.
Yeah.
You know what's amazing is they will all the FIFA committee and all the big dogs at FIFA now will turn on Infantino because this is their chance. This is their chance to get him out. He's massive ego. He's only in it for himself. So they will all say that they had no idea what was going on. And Arsene Wenger, it's not surprising, come out saying, I didn't know nothing about it. That's what you're going to get from all of these FIFA delegates now. And Arsenal will play a political game. Do you know what I mean? He's been on the payroll. I think he's been on their payrolls since 2019. So, flying around the world in charge of their youth team development. As long as he doesn't come out with he wants another World Cup every 2 years, then, it'll be all right.
Perry, we'll catch up with you soon. All the best.
Cheers, boys.
Keep scrolling. Keep looking at X all the time. Keep refreshing.
I'm on it now. Can you get off, please? I need to have a scroll up.
Good man. Thanks very much, Perry. Yes, Perry Groves, former Arsenal winger. And Tim Vickery is going to pop in and see us. He's in the UK and he's going to come and see us on Friday. So we'll dig a bit deeper into Vinny and everything that's going on. The Transfer Insiders were doing that. You can get their podcast now. Ollie Klink and Joel Bayer, they were talking about Bruno and Arsenal and Vinny Jr., Liverpool's ins and outs. Bradley Barkler will join the club. Curtis Jones, Cody Gakpo, Spurs link, but looks like there's no business happening there. So all the latest transfer chat on the talkSPORT app. You can download it there or wherever you get your podcasts. And we're going to look at some players who've been coming in from La Liga. A couple into Real Madrid. That obviously Arbeloa knew well from his time at the club to Fulham. One or two at Palace, other players as well. So we'll be chatting to Spanish football expert Terry Gibson. And we will get his take on this Vinicius story as well. Plus, later on, actor and Liverpool fan David Morrissey popping in to see us. We'll talk boxing with Duke McKenzie, and we'll dip into the Manchester United audio archives with Wayne Barton, who has a new podcast. So that's all to come.
A very quick call on Trent Alexander-Arnold. Oliver is a Liverpool fan. Morning, Oliver.
Morning, how you doing, lad? You all right?
Yeah.
All right,
really
Oliver.
Good, yeah. Would you like to see Trent back?
All good. I'd absolutely love to see Trent back. I think Mo Salah missed him very much last season. Obviously, Salah had a pretty poor season last season, but when he come back with Real Madrid, it was very frosty, and I think the damage is being done, to be honest with you, but I would love to see him back in a Liverpool shirt, yeah.
Look, there's no doubt. Nobody can doubt his quality. On the ball, he's as good as anything, anywhere.
He was winning games from right back. Obviously the Barcelona game in 2019, that cross, and then I think he was very, very important when we won the league with Slot as well. So much quality, from right back.
No doubt about it.
Yeah, brilliant. I think a lot of Liverpool fans would share that view. They'd all love to see Trent back. Oliver, thanks very much indeed.
Maybe Jeff as well. Thanks, Oliver. You wonder though whether the player, having not really done it at Real Madrid, would want to sort of maybe at least stick around for another 6 months to see exactly where he figures and where he fares. He'll know pretty soon. As players, you get the vibe whether or not you're on you're part of the in club or whether you're on the outside of it.
Amen Corner, perhaps the most feared run of holes in golf. Each year it claims the tournament hopes of many, with balls hitting bunkers and water traps aplenty. But why is it so fearsome, and where did it get its name? Just the thoughts of holes 11, 12 and 13 at Augusta National gives the likes of Rory McIlroy and Jordan Spieth the shivers. McIlroy hit 3 over and Spieth hit 4 over in their final rounds to blow their hopes of a green jacket in 2011 and 2016 respectively. But did you know Amen Corner's name is inspired by a jazz song from 1933? American sports writer Herbert Warren Wint, on the left here, wrote about it in 1958, referencing the song shouted in that Amen Corner when describing the run. Hole 11 is a par 4 over 520 yards with a green guarded by a pond and bunkers to the front edge. 12, perhaps golf's most famous hole, is a par 3 over just 155 yards. The green's guarded by Rays Creek at the front, more bunkers and azalea bushes ready to punish the smallest error. Then there's the 13th that teases the hook shot over the trees. It's a dogleg par 5 over 545 yards that's inviting for big hitters who want to reach the green in 2. If you want to win the Masters, you have to keep your score down around Amen Corner. So who'll be the next to fall victim to golf's most famous and most daunting challenge?
What will Gianni Infantino do after football? Because I think his days are numbered at FIFA. We thought a pub. Going to haulage, like a lot of footballers used to do. Pub or haulage, they were the options in the
old
80s
days,
when you packed up in football. I mean, the options are slightly wide out of the money there.
Hairdresser?
I don't think Vinny Jr. is going to go into haulage.
Who's your hairdresser?
What, Gianni Infantino?
Yeah. Open a hairdressing salon.
There's been many famous bald hairdressers.
I suppose.
I mean, that's that shouldn't. It should. Well, don't put me on the spot.
I can't think of one bald. Normally,
Did Tony?
What's his name? Clark. Nicky Clark.
Nicky Clark. Yeah, he was slightly different. Okay, you're right. That's one that wasn't. We haven't got time for this. There's stuff to deal
You
with.
think of a bald hairdresser?
Nice.
Trevor Sorby was bald, I think.
Well, there we are.
Yeah.
Infantino's Cappuccinos. What about that in Bognor? Nice little coffee shop in Bognor.
That's good.
Well, he will want to disappear, Jeremy. I think he's going to want to be quite low profile after everything that's gone on. Anyway, let's look at some of the Spanish players that are heading into the Premier League this season. The latest of which have gone to Fulham, understandably, with Alvaro Arbeloa there, who worked with the academy and the 21s before a short spell in charge of the first team. Gonzalo Garcia, 22, Cesar Palacios, 21, have been signed for 43 million quid. Are they any good? Let's ask Spanish football expert, former of Manchester United, Spurs and Wimbledon frontman Terry Gibson. Hi, Terry.
Hi, Paul Andy. Yes, are they very good? Yeah, they are good, but they are what they are. They're young 21, 22-year-old players with limited experience, and the two of them have been brought in big sum of money to replace experienced players. Harry Wilson, so that's the position Cesar Palacios plays. He's the number 10. He hasn't made a start for Real Madrid, just sub-appearances in La Liga. And Gonzalo Garcia to replace Raul Jimenez. So it's two important players. So they've lost two important players, an important manager as well, Marco Silva, and in comes Arbeloa with the younger players from Real Madrid. So it's an interesting choice as manager, an interesting choice of the two young players as well.
I read that Jose really rated him and was quite...
Was this Garcia?
Yeah, the striker.
Yeah, I mean, the profile fits as a centre forward. He's quite tall, he's strong, he's mobile, he's got a good touch. He performed really well in the Club World Cup, which got him the chance under Xabi Alonso. He scored 6 goals. I mean, he made a lot of appearances, a lot of them from the bench. As I say, he scored 6, but 3 of those were against Betis. So it's a different kettle of fish playing for Real Madrid when you're normally dominant in La Liga against the majority of teams that you play against, as opposed to playing for Fulham, who are probably, if I'm being generous, will be in the bottom third of the Premier League. So I think it's a big ask. Fulham has certainly gone all in on Arbeloa. They've given him a couple of the players that he wanted. And as I say, they're unproven. And in my opinion, the manager is unproven.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that. You've watched him in the big job and sort of working his way through the ranks and as a player at the club. So, I mean, is he ready and is he suitable for the sort of relentless muck and bullets of the Premier League, Terry?
Well, that's a really fantastic point you make. It was his progress as a coach. He had 6 months in charge of the B team and 6 months in charge of the first team. And it was always the understanding from everybody apart from him was that he was a caretaker manager. So I don't think that's the pedigree that you're really looking for. And it's, in my opinion, it's a surprise. I think the link with Real Madrid is there. It's quite glamorous, isn't it, to say the least? And for Fulham to think they're getting the ex-Real Madrid manager. But it was the whole way he took over after Xabi Alonso was a little bit murky, in my opinion. He was always there in the background, and I looked at the details and I thought, how long has he been in charge of the B team? Because people were talking him up, saying he's going to be the next manager of Real Madrid. And I was astonished when it was his first season last year in charge of the B team. So effectively, his first job as a senior coach, the B team is the young players. It's like our under-21s, under-23 teams. And within a few months of that, he was then given the job at Real Madrid, and it slipped through his hands. He wasn't ever in control of the job. The players were running show by the end of it, which they can do if the management isn't strong enough at Real Madrid. But there's an element of it needed the players to take control because he didn't appear to be doing too much. So I think it's a gamble from Fulham.
It's interesting because his first game is against Xabi Alonso. at Chelsea.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I'm not sure there's any love lost there because Xabi Alonso, after his second or third press conference, was asked, do you think Arbeloa is going to be the man to replace you as the next Real Madrid manager?
God.
And he looked as astonished, as we all did, and thought, well, where's that come from?
Yeah.
Arbeloa's just got the job as the B team manager. But he was in with Florentino Perez, Arbeloa, and hence that was the reason he was put in place. But he didn't make a good job of it. First game, knocked out the Copa del Rey by second division Albacete. By the end of the season, I think at least 6 players had actually expressed an opinion that they didn't want the manager to speak to them. So that was
Doesn't bode well, really,
told
does
a
it?
story.
Oh, well, we'll see.
Somebody with a bit more experience has gone to Palace. Oscar Mingueza, who plays at the back or wing back. He came through La Masia, the Barcelona academy. So has a good pedigree. Has played 4 games for Spain. Do you think he could hit the ground running, Terry?
Yep, and he can play both sides, and he's good going forward. He's good defensively. He's, I think, he's a free transfer as well. So I think that's an excellent piece of business from Crystal Palace, definitely.
And the other one was Munoz, where there was that sort of tug of war between Newcastle and Liverpool to land him, and Liverpool kind of gazumped him. He's coming from Osasuna, the winger. Again, is that good business for Liverpool?
It's potential. It's a lot more money than I thought he was going to be. He had 1 season at Osasuna. He's really quick. So I think that's the potential is there. Do I see him starting the season off for Liverpool? Probably not, particularly as he's been away with Spain and going to join up late in the pre-season. But the potential is there. If he's not the first choice player, it might help him ease into the proceedings at Liverpool. But he is getting in the Spain squad. I mean, there were other players injured that might have been ahead of him. We didn't get to see him in the World Cup. He was injured. So I think it would take a while for him to settle, but the potential is definitely another ex-Real Madrid player.
Yeah.
Osasuna signed him for 5 million, sold him for 40, but I think Real Madrid kept a share of that.
Okay.
Yeah,
they usually do. Just as an aside, Tottenham have got a behind closed doors friendly against Osasuna at the weekend, and I saw not Osasuna, Getafe, and I saw you commenting. I don't think I'd want to be playing Getafe a week before the season. They get stuck in, Terry, was your point, I think.
They punch above their weight in every way, shape or form. The manager is infamous in Spain. I mean, they have no budget. They lose all their players every summer, and they fight and scrap, and they're aggressive, and they pick up the most yellow cards and red cards.
What could possibly go wrong with the team of Tottenham's injury record, eh? That's right. So we don't see Tonali and Fernandes until February. That'll be great, won't it? Kicked off the park on their own training ground. Only Tottenham, only Spurs.
Borderless ball. Jose Borderless is the manager, and they call it Borderless ball. They're in Europe this year.
Wow.
They were favourites for relegation at Christmas. Signed 4 loan players and finished in the European Conference League.
If they're listening now, go easy on the boys.
Oh, yeah, go easy.
It's only a kickabout.
Do you know anything about Chelsea? I made a couple of bids for this guy, Pep Chavarria. Do you know? Is he any good?
Yes, very well. Yeah, it's an astonishing fee. I have to be honest. He's ex-Zaragoza, spent 4 years for Rayo, and he's been good. He's the second best fullback at Rayo. Andre Ratiu is the best one. He's the right back. So I'm amazed that he's gone for such big money. I think anywhere else in La Liga, 2 or 3 million.
Wow,
really?
The Premier League.
What are Chelsea prepared to pay?
20 million?
Over 20, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's the old, it's the Premier League tariff, isn't it?
Yeah.
The Premier League premium again.
100%.
Yeah.
I mean, Fran Garcia, you probably know from Real Madrid.
Mm-hmm.
In my opinion, he's a better player, and he's 2 years younger. He's gone to Real Betis for 4 million.
Wow.
That's mad, isn't it?
So it's a different market, different transfer market for clubs that work amongst each other in La Liga. So then a player coming to the Premier League. I can't believe Rayo, when they got offered 15, put the phone down and said, no, we're not accepting that. They must have been covering the phone in their hands, saying someone from the Premier League's offering 15 million for our fullback. If we can get a bit more, and it looks like they're going to get it. Don't get me wrong, he's not rubbish. He's good, but 28 years old. Limited.
Well, that's all right for Chelsea. They need older.
They do, yeah. Before we let you go, we were talking to Perry Groves earlier on. He's constantly refreshing his page to see if Vinny's signed yet. Do you think they're being played, or do you think there is a possibility he could go to Arsenal?
A week ago, I thought they were being played, and now I'm still saying that still seeing and reading that Real Madrid are not budging on their offer.
Right.
So the ball is in Vinicius' court. So I think there's a little bit of hope there for Arsenal. I'd still be absolutely shocked if he leaves Real Madrid and goes to Arsenal. But it's a testing time for everybody. If he doesn't sign the new deal, which they're trying to get him to do, then he goes into the last year. then it would be interesting. Do Real Madrid want to keep him? Do they want to sell him? Does he want to play another year at Real Madrid? What's his attitude going to be like? Or does he want to go straight to the Premier League and Arsenal? Be interesting. It's going to cost him about £750,000, £800,000 a week, mind.
Yeah.
Because of the tax. He doesn't pay tax. The club have to pay the tax.
Great,
he wants everything after tax. And I think he wants about £500,000 a week after tax.
Well, that's netto, as Ruud Gullit famously called it. When I worked at Chelsea, there was a period when he basically didn't know his salary wasn't being paid to him. It was there waiting to be given to him, Ruud, but he had no idea that he wasn't being paid it. So, so that's the kind of money you want in life, isn't it?
That's right, definitely.
Exactly.
Yeah. Anyway, nice one, Terry. Yours and John Driscoll's podcast is very much going strong. Spanish football podcast, isn't it?
Yes, we recorded one this morning. I phrased that better than I did the last time I was on.
That's right. More of that in the next clips of the week, of course. Yeah.
A Q&A with the Patreons. So that was all the Barcelona fans are worried by they're signing loads of wingers when they're already had Lamine Yamal and Rafinha. Lewandowski has gone and no sign of a centre forward yet.
That's interesting.
Good stuff. Cheers, Terry. All the best.
Paul, Andy, always a pleasure. Thank you.
Terry Gibson there. The way he did describe it last time will be in the Clips of the Week on Friday. We got Clips of the Month coming out for you later on. But an old colleague of mine, a guitarist with the indie cult band The Loft, big Pompey fan, Andy Strickland's going to join us, play you a couple of tracks from their new album, and a star performance from the world of comedy in a video for one of their new songs. And if you're on YouTube, you'll be able to watch that in a few moments' time. We're here at Tool Station. Only got time for one stop. First stop, Tool Station.
I speak to people here and there, good sources. The best thing I can say is that I know for a fact we're not going to rush. The window doesn't close until the beginning of September, end of August, beginning of September. We've got a lot of time to make decisions. And on top of that, we're not like other teams who desperately have to strengthen and anyone's better than their current team. If somebody comes into our team, they have to be the right personnel, the right players on the pitch, and they have to fit the vision of Arsenal Football Club. We haven't spent 7-8 years building this squad for anyone to come in and for it to be some kind of joke. So the likes of Bruno, great attitude. He can play, Mikel likes him versatile. He can play as a 6, he can play as an 8. He can play as a 10 if you really want him to as well.
His creativity is very underrated, Joel.
Exactly. And we all know what it gets like. When you're Arsenal Football Club, you're in every single competition, guys. Just to remind everybody, we only, didn't play 2 games out of the possible. All of the games that you could have played last season, we only didn't play 2 games. What games were they? Do you know?
It would be the League Cup final. Oh no, you played that.
You're wrong. You're wrong. Don't worry, Ollie. I'll correct.
Go on. Yeah, go on.
Semi-final of the FA Cup.
And
the final of the FA Cup.
Yeah, cool.
Okay. So that means that even if you've got 2 10s, Eze and Odegaard and how great they are, sometimes you need more players.
Hawksbee Jacobs here on talkSPORT. Just a reminder that the big man Alan Brazil is back tomorrow morning on breakfast from 6 o'clock.
Yes.
Which is good news. We need the clips.
Very good.
We'll bring you a special Alan clip a little bit later on, just for old time's sake. And we will be bringing you the clips of the month for July as well. And we'll talk a bit of boxing next hour with Duke McKenzie.
Did you see they're making a movie about what the West Ham pre-season game where the Harry brought that guy on and
the lad out the crowd, yeah,
and he played the part of Harry is going to be played by Eddie Marsan, which I think is interesting casting, really.
Yeah, well, from the same part of London, I guess he'll get the voice right.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's a good boy. He's a great actor. So yeah, I'm sure.
Yes. Now the Odyssey. Everybody's talking about the Odyssey. I haven't seen it yet. Andy, have you been?
No, I haven't seen it. No.
2 hours 52 minutes.
No way. I wouldn't even bother. It's far too long. You can't get it all in 120 minutes. I can't be bothered with it.
What, plus penalties?
Yeah,
that's it.
Any film, it's too long. It's too. We were talking about this before. It's like these shows that have like 8 episodes. You think, what's the point? I won't name it. I watched one last week. I watched the first one. I thought, yeah, this is quite good. And I looked and thought, there's another 8 of these. So I just watched the last one. It was fine.
So you missed the 6 out in the middle?
Yeah, but you only have to watch previously on, and that's it. You'll be fine. You might have to watch that twice. Just
nice little tip if you haven't got a lot of time on your hands.
Very much so.
But Amelia's been bringing us the news and sport. I mean, she was slightly worried yesterday she might need a toilet break halfway through it. Or she managed to get through it because there's no interval. When we were kids, films like Lawrence of Arabia and stuff like that, you'd have an intermission, wouldn't you?
Well, you need an intermission.
Yeah.
It's like...
But obviously Christopher Nolan has decided that, you can't ruin the flow of his movie by suddenly closing the curtains if they still do that at the cinema. So, maybe we should take a straw poll today. Have you seen it? And did you wee break or not? We should.
Good point. Yeah.
You can let us know. What was the experience like? Did you miss anything good when you? I mean, 2 hours 52 minutes. You're not going to miss. You'll be all right. You can catch up, can't you? Previously on the Odyssey. Talking of which, Andy, what about this story from Cartagena in Colombia? New Spider-Man film was on, and the cinema was cleared by somebody with an upset stomach.
Oh, I saw this story.
They were trumping quite spectacularly,
very
apparently.
Bad, really.
And it cleared the cinema.
It's got to be bad to clear the cinema.
Well, some people said they had to grin and bear it. And what the Sun called a giant bout of flatulence, to which the answer is you are. Halfway through the screening, hundreds of ticket holders headed for the exits. I mean, how bad was it? For how long?
I know. I mean, terrible. You think no air conditioning, obviously.
No, I guess. Wait, how do you know?
I don't. I'm not. I'm an expert on Colombian cinemas. It's one of my specialist subjects on Mastermind.
Yes,
a new series of which was last night, and I noticed.
Yes,
the questions are much harder. They've done this deliberately. I normally get between 10 or 11.
Yeah.
I was getting like 5.
Well, they had to sack all the easy question writers because there's no more celebrity Mastermind.
No, they're very, very easy. Those are ridiculous.
Spell dog and things.
But
like
even
that.
on the, I think there'd been some criticism about how the main one had become easier.
Oh, okay.
So much more difficult.
It was a test, wasn't it? I mean, it always was really difficult.
Very difficult. Actually.
Anyway, you listen to the talkSPORT, and you may have guessed we had problems with our guest line.
I'm going to talk about Vazinha at Colo Colo.
What a story that is. Yeah, Tim Vickery will tell us more. He got a hero's welcome, didn't he? The Cape Verde goalkeeper.
Yeah. I was in Santiago.
Yes.
In Chile.
I was in Santiago.
Me and Dave Tully, my friend and your
pilot friend. Yes,
pilot
friend. Yeah.
We were in Santiago together. Dave flew us over. You know how it goes.
Not privately.
No.
Yeah.
And we decided that we're going to try and find Colo Colo's ground. So we got on a tube and we sort of got to a station that was supposed to be quite near, and we couldn't see it. We couldn't find it. And then we got in a cab. And we got in the cab, and the cab drove for about 30 seconds, then dropped us off at the stadium. It's fantastic.
How much did he charge you for that?
I can't remember now. And I remember, Dave left his iPad in the bloke's cab.
Right, okay. This is all taken.
I remember him it got a bit heated because he wasn't happy that we'd only had such a short ride.
So why did he say, I'm not taking you? You could walk it in a minute. I
think he did in Spanish say, I don't go south of the river at this time of night. But apart from that, he was fine.
Fair enough. Yeah. Okay, well, look.
Good luck to him at Colo. That's my Colo Colo anecdote.
That's a brilliant. And tell that one on Piers Morgan next time you're on there, the Colo Colo anecdote. You got any more like that?
No, I'm afraid not.
Anyway, we hopefully catch up with Pompey.
Dave
fans.
eventually got his iPad back.
Okay, well, that's good news. Thanks for rounding off the story. I don't think anybody was bothered, apart from Dave.
Well, he was, but the way he did it was brilliant, but that's another whole story.
Well, okay. We haven't got time.
No, we've got to go.
Although I'm kind of quite tempted, and anyway, we'll come back to that later.
In the break.
We will chat to Andy Strickland a little bit later on. Duke McKenzie joining us. Steve Harmison reacting to that podcast that Ben Stokes has done with some old teammates. And there's some pretty enlightening stuff in there about his future and the way he left the England captaincy and indeed England cricket. Kevin Day's going to join us as well. Bit of Palace and a very interesting story in the Times yesterday about the financial clout of the Premier League and why Andy Burnham may tread carefully when the regulator comes in. And lots more besides, including Donald Trump cheating at golf. The man who wrote the book on it, Rick Riley, will join us for a chat.
It's interesting, this situation with Vinicius Junior, because there were some reports of the weekend that he'd agreed personal terms with Arsenal. Rock Nation, who represent the Real Madrid star, have released a statement hitting out fake news. They said Rock Nation Sports International and our entire team cannot stand idle when unprofessional and uninformed media publish fake and damaging information for attention-seeking purposes. This is especially unacceptable when it personally targets our clients without any foundation. It's disruptive, harmful and libelous, they say. Media outlets and journalists need to hold themselves more accountable. Now, if Vinicius Junior was that keen on a move to Arsenal, would his agency really have gone so strong in the statement?
No, I think. Look, they've been playing the game, haven't they? Let's be honest. I think Vinicius Junior wants to stay in Real Madrid. I think that's where he sees himself. He's probably using Arsenal to some extent to try and, get probably another 100 grand more on his already probably £1 million a week contract. So for me, Crookie, I think I'm expected that he's going to be staying at Real Madrid. I'll be very surprised if we see him in the Premier League and playing for Arsenal next year.
It's a real tall order, isn't it, for any club in the Premier League to tempt a player from Real Madrid. I was speaking over the weekend. I think it was Darren Goff maybe who made the point, or maybe Tony Cascarino. Dennis Bergkamp in the mid-90s when he left Inter Milan, Serie A was the powerhouse then of European football, to join Arsenal was a real surprise. Would this be comparable?
I think it would be. Yeah, I think it's probably bigger.
It's 2 o'clock. It's Hawksbee and Jacobs here on talkSPORT. It's time for the sports headlines with Max Scott.
talkSPORT.
Thank you, Paul. Good afternoon. Ben Stokes said he'd love to be England coach one day, but insists he will not be reversing his decision to retire as England Test captain. Speaking on the For the Love of Cricket podcast, Stokes suggested Harry Brook should have succeeded him as skipper, but does wish his mate Joe Root well. John Etheridge, the Sun's cricket correspondent, says Brook's behaviour out in New Zealand jeopardised his chance of taking the role.
He's currently captain of the one-day team, the white ball teams, and he might well have been captain of the Test team when Stokes retired, but they've gone back to Joe Root. I think they feel he's more of a sort of captain sensible, a safe pair of hands.
Elsewhere, Arsene Wenger says FIFA's U-turn on Gianni Infantino's sell-off plan was absolutely necessary and beyond question. He also said he believed in FIFA serving the game with commitment, transparency and integrity. Perry Grove says he's not surprised Wenger's come out saying he knew nothing about the plan.
Arsenal will play like a political game. Do you know what I mean? He's been on the payroll. I think he's been on their payrolls since 2019. So, flying around the world in charge of their youth team development. As long as he doesn't come out with he wants another World Cup every 2 years, then he'll be all right.
In transfer news, Coventry have signed keeper Carl Rushworth on a permanent deal from Brighton for £22.5 million. He played every game for Cov last season while out on loan. but we're told Brighton do have a buyback option. And former referee Anthony Taylor is taking the post of Director of Elite Refereeing in Turkey. He retired from the Premier League last month following a 20-year career.
talkSPORT News.
Thames Valley Police have criticised plans to release PC Harper's killers, saying it's demoralising, and more than 150 migrants have been rescued in the Channel after the boat they were using caught fire. More with Amelia at past.
talkSPORT weather with QuickFit. With over 400 EV-ready centres across the UK, we're top of the league for electric car owners. Visit quickfit.com and book today.
Persistent at times, heavy rain will continue in the north with a risk of hail and thunder across Northern Ireland. Scattered showers elsewhere, mainly in western areas, but dry in the south with some warm temperatures.
Odds update on talkSPORT with Betfair. Everyone's got an opinion. Back yours at Betfair. 18+ gambleaware.org.
Yes, time to get all the latest odds with James Mackey from our friends at Betfair, an official bet partner. Good afternoon, James.
How are we, gents? Everyone okay?
Yeah, we're not too bad, thank you. We got the Champions League qualifiers, of course, going on. We'll find out who everybody's getting. So maybe have a chat about the Champions League. And I do wonder whether Vinicius, if he did go to Arsenal, I'm sure that would affect the odds, wouldn't it? If he's an Arsenal player, not a Real Madrid player, when they get underway properly.
Yeah, I'd definitely say you're right there. I think we're slowly but surely creeping towards the start of the season, aren't we? When you see the Champions League qualifiers tonight getting us one step closer to finding out all the teams that will be in this year's competition. Obviously, we know plenty of the teams that already will be looking to be in the competition. And just looking at some of the odds with the both of you for the 2026-27 tournament, it's really interestingly priced at this stage. As you mentioned, Paul, that we're waiting to see what happens in the last 3 weeks of the transfer window to see who goes where, which will affect the odds. At the moment, winners of the last 2 years, PSG, they're the favourites on the Betfair Sportsbook, again, to emulate Real Madrid and win 3 Champions Leagues on the trot at 5-1. Next in the betting are the 2 teams that were knocked out by PSG in the semi-final and final, with Arsenal and Bayern Munich, both 6-1. We have 3 teams joint at 7-1 with Barcelona, Real Madrid and Manchester City, all very tough to split. And then you go a bit down with Liverpool 10-1, Man United 16-1 and Aston Villa 28-1. So is there anyone at this moment in time, gents, that piques your interest at the prices?
Well, I think Barca and Real are quite,
What did you say they were with City, James? 7-1?
7-1. Barcelona, Real Madrid and Man City, all 7-1.
Yeah, I mean, look, Real Madrid have got a great history in it.
It's Jose as well, isn't it?
Jose, so who knows, And City, we don't know how good City are going to be. They've still got fabulous players, so, how good, we'll see what they do.
People kind of, the Villa fans may be thinking, yeah, I'll have some of that. You do it with your heart. I think I had a couple of quid on Spurs to win the Champions League last season. I know. I mean, it was just throwing money away, but I just thought, well, why? I mean, it literally was £2.
Yeah.
Well, it might have been £4.
Yeah.
But sometimes you let your heart. You shouldn't, but you let your heart rule your head. And as long as you do it sensibly, that's okay, I think.
Yeah,
definitely. And what's been interesting, actually, I've been looking at some of the anti-post data from Betfair punters on the Champions League so far, and they actually agree with you. The punters do. Real Madrid at 7-1 have been taking the most bets so far. 33% of the bets placed in the outright market have been on Jose Mourinho's team. We then go down 25% on PSG. Next is Barcelona with 15% of the bets. Bayern Munich at 10%, and then Arsenal with 9% of the bets in 5th. But they're the most backed English team to win it. Obviously taking 9% of the bets. They just fell short last year, didn't they? When I went through some of the English prices, like I said, Arsenal 6-1, Man City 7-1, Liverpool 10-1, United 16-1, and Villa 28-1. Who do you think goes the furthest out of the English teams, do you think?
Well, you imagine it's got to be Arsenal.
Yeah, I think it's very difficult to see beyond them. As Andy said, they're a very settled side and they're adding to it and they're bringing some quality in. They could bring in more. So, yeah, you would think so, certainly Arsenal.
No, I'd probably agree with you, even though, as I mentioned, Liverpool fan, I'd love us to go and win it again at 10-1, but I think that looks a really uphill task at the moment. But look, if the qualifiers tonight, we'll start to see.
Very harsh, Andy. Very harsh. He's telling us yesterday Newcastle are going to finish 17th. He is quite the sage, Andy. I don't know if any of this is ever going to come off. Maybe you should give us your ludicrous knee-jerk punts for the season.
No,
and
you've
then
got to wait till
people can avoid them. Yeah, you've got to wait till the window closes.
You have.
Thank you, James. We'll catch up with you tomorrow. All the best.
Thanks, gents.
There we are. That's James Mackey from Betfair. Thanks for joining us, James. All the latest offers, go to betfair.com, 18+, begamblerware.org.
Odds update on talkSPORT with Betfair. Everyone's got an opinion. Back yours at Betfair. 18+, gamblerware.org.
Yeah, we'll talk a bit of Palace now, because our next guest is a Palace regular. He's also doing a bit of a show at the Edinburgh Fringe. He's being interviewed by journalist and broadcaster Ian Dale at the Edinburgh Festival, alongside his Price of Football co-host Kieran Maguire. What about that? Kevin Day. Hi, Kev.
Hello there. How lovely to be part of the lunchtime laughter inferno.
Yeah.
And did I get that right? The pizza oven of puns? Is that right?
This is all good stuff. Yeah, thank you very much. When you say it like that, I don't know, it doesn't sound quite as impressive. I don't know,
I think it's very impressive.
Coming from voiceover man, lunchtime laughter inferno, you think, yeah, I'm part of that. But when you say it, kind of brought me down a bit. But anyway,
I'm sorry.
That's all right, Kev.
Right.
So this will be fun, won't it? So you're being interviewed by Ian.
Yeah, Kieran and I have been all grown up. We're doing a show at the Edinburgh International Conference Centre as part of the Fringe. Inevitably, we've got this thing going on. We want people to buy tickets because he's also interviewing Kemi Badenoch.
Oh, right.
After us, and we want to sell more tickets than Kemi Badenoch, essentially. But I know what will happen because it's been happening at every show in the summer that we've done.
Mm-hmm.
We will talk about Scottish football, obviously, and we'll talk about the Premier League, and we'll talk about all sorts of things. And then somebody will put their hand up and go, "What are Chelsea up to?"
Yeah.
And then, because we did a really posh gig last week full of lawyers and football executives and the head of the UK Table Tennis Federation, who I was delighted to meet.
Bit random.
And we said at the end, any questions? And about 50 hands went up. And the first person said, "What are Chelsea up to?" And all the other hands went down. Because that's all anybody wants to ask. Infantino and what are Chelsea up to seems to be the two things that are obsessing. Also, this I like the idea that Arsene Wenger says this terrible idea that FIFA have had.
Yeah.
I didn't know anything about it. Well, what were you talking to Infantino about at every World Cup game?
Yeah.
During the half-time, you seem to be. He didn't know anything about it.
Well,
by pizza oven of pun bottom.
Now, there was a story yesterday in the business section of the Times.
Of course.
Saying the Premier League will add 33 billion to the UK economy and generate close to 15 billion in tax revenue over the next 3 seasons. It is quite an earner for the Exchequer. So Andy Burnham has been pretty upfront, the new Prime Minister, about the regulator and its importance. But, in terms of, I'm sure John Healy will be sort of leaning on him. The Chancellor will be leaning. I'm saying, well, let's tread a bit carefully because we don't want to kind of kill the golden goose, do we?
It's amazing. I mean, those figures sound incredible, but essentially, when you put it in terms of Amazon or people like that, they're not. It's huge. It's bigger in terms of PR for the country more than actual money earned. And of course, trying to pry that money out of the hands of the Premier League clubs and give it to where it should be going is proving to be an ongoing difficult situation.
That is a debate when you say it should be going. I mean, how much responsibility do the Premier League have? I mean, they have to be careful. They don't want to kill the golden goose, do they? That's the danger with all this. They cast a kind of envious glance about something that really works really well, and so let's stop that working. So let's shove the money over here. I'm not sure it's such a great idea.
Spoken like a true Premier League member there.
Well, exactly. I would be, because it's the thing that drives everything.
Well, of course. I mean, sorry, are you Brentford or Chelsea at the moment before we carry on this conversation?
That is pitiful.
He's got rid of his Brentford season.
You are better than that. Come on.
I don't. It's a very interesting debate, and it will take longer than we have, because the problem is that the Premier League are talking about a new deal with the EFL to redistribute money to the EFL. But the trouble is 80% of that money being redistributed would go to the Championship. So the clubs in League One and League Two would go, well, hang on a second, what are we getting out of this? And some of the clubs in the Premier League are saying, why are we giving a lot of money to the Championship when we want to spend our own money to stay up? So it's a very difficult one. It's nice to have a Prime Minister who is aware of football and who is aware that the regulator is needed. The regulator is needed because the Premier League and the EFL didn't get their heads together 5-10 years ago. But I understand the argument from some Premier League club owners. Steve Parish is one of them, my own club, who doesn't particularly understand why money should be distributed from his club to other clubs outside the Premier League, especially why it should be distributed to clubs in the Championship who are trying to take our place in that very same league. But it's this is not the sort of conversation that the lunchtime laughter inferno.
No, it isn't. Well, so let's change the subject then and say, have you bought an Ollie Glasner dartboard yet?
It's such a shame. In an ideal world, he wouldn't have gone to a club in the Premier League. In an ideal world, he certainly wouldn't have gone to Mr. Marinakis' club. And I can't say this enough. I've got nothing against Forest. I think Forest are a wonderful club. They've got a wonderful history. Brian Clough is one of my idols. I've got nothing against Forest. I do have, not that it would bother him for a second, I do have an issue with Mr. Marinakis, although obviously I don't think he's got that bottle of champagne that we sent him for helping us into a competition last year that we could actually win. But it will take the gloss. There will be an edge to the Palace Forest game at Selhurst Park. There's no doubt about it. And there are some Palace fans with very short memories who seem to have forgotten that Ollie won us 3 trophies in less than 2 years. So he's entitled to go where he wants. We knew he was leaving Palace after 2 years. He went with a handshake and a smile from the chairman. So the fact that he's done what we would all do and taken a load of money for a job that he could do very well, it's entirely up to him. It's a little bit of a shame. He hasn't gone to Brighton, so that's in his favour. But it's going to be interesting to see how he gets on at Forest because he plays a particular way. And he certainly won't have I don't think he'll have the same leeway from the owner of Nottingham Forest that he got from the owner of
the level of patience, maybe.
Because bearing in mind as well, this is a typical football fan thing to say, is apart from winning those trophies, what else did he do? Because towards the end of last season, if we hadn't won the European trophy last season, it would have been a poor season. We would be. You look at the league table, you look at the way we were playing towards the end of last season. I don't think he will get, as you say, that level of patience from the owner at Forest. But obviously, I hope we beat them both times, but I'll be looking out for him. If there's ever going to be a statue at Selhurst Park, and if Ian Wright's listening to this, I'm sorry, I don't mean to break Ian Wright's heart, but it will have to be a statue of Ollie Glasner. I'd love to see a statue of Ian Wright with one of Mark Bright 4 yards behind him trying to catch up. That would be lovely. But Ollie Glasner, he's the biggest hero Palace fans have ever had. I go on WhatsApp groups sometimes with a level of despair because you go, hang on a second, he's gone to Forest, so what? That's entirely up to him. Just look what he won us in the last 18 months. It's been incredible.
Yeah, so it's a risky move from his point of view.
Kevin, we're out of time. Just tell us where we can get your tickets for your big show in Edinburgh.
If you go onto the Fringe website, I would say I'll send you a link, but there's 450,000 million people listening to it.
Yes, indeed.
Send a link to it all. If you go on the Edinburgh Fringe website and help us beat Kemi Badenoch, that'd be fantastic.
Cheers, Kevin. We'll catch up with you soon. All the best.
No worries. All the best, boys. Bye-bye now.
There we are. Kevin Day. You can see him in action with Kieran Maguire from the Price is Football podcast. And, of course, the podcast is always a good listen. Football finance discussed. And, there is a balancing act in terms of the job the regulator does, because it is needed, and we've seen too many clubs stiffed by bad owners to suggest otherwise.
What happens in a situation where the Premier League give money to a club in League Two, and the owner isn't particularly scrupulous?
Well, that's it. Part of the regulator's job is to make sure if there is a kind of trickle-down effect, that you make sure you've got good people in charge and they're looking after the money properly.
That's the danger. That you're in a bad financial position.
But a virtuous circle of good owners. That's the idea in the long run. It would be nice, wouldn't it? Anyway, we'll see. We'll move on next to the world of cricket, and Ben Stokes has been part of a really interesting podcast where he's covered an awful lot of ground. And thankfully, Steve Harmison's in the building. So Harmy's going to join us and give us his take on his old pal's conversation on For the Love of Cricket. We're here with our good friends at Tool Station, open from 7 a.m. That's Monday to Saturday. Grab what you need, get on site, get it done. First stop, Tool Station.
Having won the league last season, I mean, you mentioned this to me in the break. Do you think it's more emphasis on the Champions League this time?
Possibly, without wanting to obviously downplay anything else around it. Possibly there will, within the camp, that little bit of extra determination to try and get over the line in the Champions League. They'll be right in there again. Champions League is such fine margins, those matches, when you get to the quarters and the semis of those games, you can be in pole position with 10 minutes to go and go out. It's very, very difficult to absolutely guarantee anything at that level and that stage of that competition. They're the team to beat in the Premier League. I think the squad, I just looked at the squad again, Jeff. They've got so many good players. I mentioned to you about William Saliba obviously being out for a bit, not sure, a back injury, and backs can be a bit weird. You can feel like it's all clearing up, then all of a sudden something doesn't feel right again. They can frustrate you. But they've got Nkapie, they've got Calafiori, they've got others that can all play alongside Gabriel and cope admirably in that position. Still got, as far as I'm, unless I've missed something, but they've still got players to cover pretty much every position, every eventuality. So they're in great shape, great health. And if they get another big one through the door, another real top draw player, and I'm not sure who that is and in what position that would necessarily be, but I think if they sent a message in that respect, oh wow, they're going to take some stopping.
Well, obviously it looks like Bruno Guimaraes is going to be through the door.
He's the one. Do you like him?
No, I love him.
Paul Hawksbee, Andy Jacobs here on talkSPORT. Ben Stokes, the former England cricket captain, has given a very interesting, he's had, not an interview as such, it was on the podcast For the Love of Cricket, Stuart Broad and Josh Butler and others, and said some very interesting stuff around leaving the England job and his future, and also on the decision to make Joe Root his successor and not Harry Brook.
So Root is currently chasing down Sachin, and I played with Rooty since we were kids, and I said this to Harry in Sydney. I said, I've never seen someone come into a dressing room in England since Rooty and look or be as good. And whatever Joe ends up getting, the only person who I can see chasing that down is Harry Brook in terms of his runs in Test cricket. He is that good. And you look at how he does it as well, and like how quickly he does it. And he's 25, is he?
Maybe a bit 27, maybe now.
But you look at what he's already managed to do, the amount of runs he's already scored. Like if he keeps going at that rate, can I see him chasing down? Like, yeah, unless the whole landscape of cricket starts changing and all of a sudden England stop playing less Test cricket. But he is. You know, you talk about once in a generation. Like he's just phenomenal, freakishly talented.
So he covered a lot of ground in the podcast, including the drinking culture in English cricket and whether he's going to come back and how he'd like to coach. Steve Harmison, the former England Ashes winner and indeed a pal of Ben Stokes, has popped in to see us. Hello, Mr. Harmy.
How are we?
Yeah, we're good. I mean, was anything in there surprise you from what you heard?
No, I don't think you give too much away. I mean, it was brilliant. I thought it was an excellent 2 hours of, if you're a Ben Stokes fan, and if you're a cricket fan. I thought he spoke, about the game, and I thought he spoke about moments, and he put meat on the bone of the direction of travel and working with Bazball and everything that come. What we all wanted to know, what happened, and he didn't give that away.
No,
which I didn't think he would. But it was fascinating, some of the insights of the conversations that have been had behind the scenes. I thought it was very good. And he talks about there with Harry. He's right. Harry's one, he's the one in a generation player. He's got no chance of getting anywhere near Joe Root, I'm afraid. Because unfortunately, like Ben said, the landscape of cricket will change and we won't play as many test matches. So I don't think Harry will play anywhere near the test match number that Joe's got. So if he doesn't play the number, he won't get near the runs. It's interesting that he talked about Joe as a captain before and now, and I think that is something I've been saying quite consistent, that a lot of people are making the judgment of Joe Root as Captain Mark II off the back of Joe Root, Captain Mark I. The Joe Root Captain Mark I had the Ben Stokes Bristol to deal with. He had Ben Stokes injuries, so you didn't have the all-rounder to balance the team up. The horrendous time of COVID for the whole country and cricket keeping the lights on for sport and Joe Root having to deal with all that. He also had a couple of selectors who I don't think were too kind towards Joe Root when they were picking sides. Ed Smith especially tried to make a name for himself in his selection of trying to get rid of Broad and Anderson. And I think, unfortunately, Joe Root's captaincy fell short there. So I think the Mark II Joe Root will be a lot better than the one that won more Test matches as an England captain than anybody else. So
that bodes well. I mean, it sounds like
sort of bodes well. I mean, you concerned? I mean, when he did come in the summer, it wasn't great, was it? Against New Zealand, it wasn't a great performance, really. But and you just wonder. I mean, you do. I have this feeling. I was told a detailed story of what happened that night in that club. I'm not going to go into it, but I was told what happened. And it seems to me that basically the ECB let Ben Stokes down. They served him up, really. I don't think they gave him... Well, if it's true what I was told, I don't feel it was right of them to suspend him for that next
It seems like they let a narrative build, which was the story comes out and it's, Ben Stokes, he's up to it again. He's gone to a nightclub and he's kicked off and he's caused problems. And they let that narrative run. No one stepped in and no one said, that's not what happened. And he must feel very let down by that in light of what we discovered did happen.
And I think that's why he sat on a podcast and not sat as England captain. I think if we all put the sort of cold light of day facts on the table, I think Ben Stokes is not captain of England because of nothing to do with the incident on the night time, which is which was either break the curfew or not break the curfew, whichever side defence you're looking at it. But I think the aftermath of that, and between that and Ben being suspended, seems to be a breakdown of whatever between an employee, an employer, and the muddy waters and everything that goes with it. And I think the employee thought he wasn't backed. So it seems as though that's the decision, which is sad, because I think Ben Stokes has still got a hell of a lot more to give when it comes to performance. But unfortunately, he won't be giving it to England now and giving it to Durham, because I don't see him coming back. I think he's done.
Yeah, he said that today.
I don't think. And even the close relationship with Joe Root and the possible Ashes question mark that everybody's saying, I don't see Ben coming back, because I think there's more to this, and he will eventually say his piece. ECB will have to respond and have their piece, and I think once that comes out, when Ben writes a book or further down the line, or he even might not at all. Ben might just think, what's the point? Why bother? Because that's the sort of principled guy.
Well, he was exonerated ultimately, wasn't he? Because when the truth came out, everybody kind of knew that it was nothing to do with him.
So, but he still put himself, unfortunately, when you put yourself in a position and you ask somebody to make a decision on you, you got to be prepared for the consequences of them decisions. And I don't blame him for going out. Unfortunately, the curfew, non-curfew, whatever, I think it could have been handled a lot better. And like you say, I think there was a lot of time in between, which I don't think Ben feels as though he was backed. And if he doesn't feel as though he was backed, he feels as though he can't be England captain.
What about this drinking? Sorry, Andy. I was going to
go. No, go.
I was going to talk about the drinking culture, because he said the drinking culture has always been in English cricket and it hasn't really changed. He said he doesn't think the England team do have a problem with alcohol. I mean, in your day, of course, that was still very much the case. It's always been there, isn't it? Do you sense it's out of control?
The trouble is, some people can't handle their alcohol. So what happens is, over the period, well, it's easy for Ben to say that, but there've been a lot of incidents, haven't there? And that's the problem.
There are players that I've played with who shouldn't even sniff alcohol, never mind drink it. That's the point. The problem. But I don't think there is. I don't think there is a drinking culture. I agree with them that cricket has an issue with alcohol, and that's two different things. That's not the same thing. I think the amount of time you spend away from home, the amount of time you're all together, the ups and downs of professional sport, the ups and downs of the job that you have. I think you have to have times where you can relax and celebrate or commiserate when it's the right time. And I think what I believe is, and I've always said, dressing rooms are like a flock of sheep. And unfortunately, the cricket dressing room has not changed from the 1980s through to the 1990s, to the noughties and beyond. And I think that's what Ben is meaning. And I agree with him that, and I can't say anything because I was a big one in the drinking culture. And how ironic, I haven't had a drink for a year now. And I see that and I look back at myself and think, what an idiot. But I also look at it and think that, professional sport, it's each to their own.
Yeah.
And like Andy says, some people can handle it, some people can't. But Ben is right when he says cricket does have an issue with alcohol. Football had an issue with alcohol.
Yeah.
And I think, when did that change? When the money dictated that you are getting paid a hell of a lot of money now as a professional footballer. You cannot do what the guys in the 80s, the Alan Brazils and the people like that did, because Brazil keeps talking about it. So I think there is going to come a cutoff point where we do have to have a conversation about it, but I don't think there's a drinking culture.
Okay,
I just think
I like the idea of Gary Sobers though. There's some of the anecdotes that came out after he died.
Gary Sobers. Well, when we
actually go out to all night.
Don't you remember when we interviewed the best line he interviewed him years ago, and he had a book out, and it was fascinating. But he said everybody had their different way of preparing for a test match. I was fortunate to discover quite early on my best way prepare for a test match the following morning was to stay up to the early hours drinking rum.
Yeah, well, like I said, each to their own. Some people can do it, some people can't. I mean, one of my first games in senior adult cricket was at a game at Yorkshire, and when you went into the lunchroom, there was pints of bitter and pints of Tetleys on the lunch table.
Oh, nice.
And there were some of the older ones were participating at lunch. And you're thinking, you've got another there's another 70 overs to bowl. Yeah, I can't have 2 pints before we have that. But
the most troubling thing to come out of the interview is that Stephen Fleming, the new Test coach, his nickname is Flem. We've got to do something about that. So we've gone from Bazball to Flemball.
Yeah, to Flemball. Hopefully not like that. I actually think it's it's a very, very good choice, which I think we've fallen upon.
Yeah.
Because I think 4 or 5 weeks ago, it wouldn't have been Stephen Fleming off the back of, leaving the Chennai Super Kings. I think Fleming is close. He's demeanor. He's a very, very good coach. It's not his fault he's won multiple IPLs and not been in red ball cricket, but he was a captain at New Zealand at 23. He captained over 80 Test matches. That's his red ball experience.
Yeah.
I think the partnership between McCullum and Stokes, the partnership now between McCullum and Brook, are very, very works because they're very, very similar.
Yeah.
I think this partnership between
Root
Fleming and Root will work because they are very, very similar. Very astute to the game. I think they'll make more tactical decisions in game, and hopefully, from Fleming's point of view, he can communicate his point with the players in a way in game situations, like in that. If you listen to it again, Ben Stokes talks about Harry Brook and conversation he had with him in Sydney, and saying when you get to 40 and they start bowling a certain way and the field goes a certain way, you've got to think that that's their plan Z. You get through this and you can get as many runs as you want, as opposed to start bowling short, you chip one up in the air, you get out, and it looks a bit foolish. So these are things that I think Fleming might bring in better than what unfortunately McCullum had.
Well, more on that, Stephen Fleming and what went wrong for Brendan McCullum, and lots of other stuff with Harmy and Neil Manthorpe and the former New Zealand head coach John Bracewell on the new Following On podcast, which is out now wherever you get your podcasts, or on the talkSPORT app. Thanks for popping in, Harmy.
Cheers, boys.
We'll catch up with you soon. Duke McKenzie's going to pop in as well and talk a bit of boxing next. We'll enter the Manchester United audio archive as well, and lots more besides.
Let's talk about Jack Grealish. Obviously, you bumped into him on holiday. Everton opted against a 50 million buyout option, but I saw in the Liverpool Echo, 83% of Everton fans want the club to sign Jack Grealish. Do you think he'll end up there?
I think there's a good chance he will, but I didn't understand the £50 million that Man City thought they were going to get. A year left on his contract. Like, you're never going to get that sort of money for Manchester City if they can get a fee at all. Because it's a club like Everton or wherever Jack signs for might be like the wages. Maybe we'll cover the wages for a year and then that's it. So it'd be interesting to see what happens. But seeing him over in Mallorca, he was fit. He was training at Real Mallorca's training ground because they were away in Marbella pre-season. He's hungry. He's looking after himself. He's doing all the right things. And, some players at 30, Jeff, he's won it all.
Yeah.
Doesn't need any more money. But he wants to play. He's addicted to football. He loves football. He would have been so jealous watching the players at the World Cup. He still wants to play at the highest level. And he showed that by the pre-season that he's had. So any reports as well that were fake reports you were hearing about being left out of Manchester City squad, no, I don't think he's clear to train for another 10 days.
Amen Corner, perhaps the most feared run of holes in golf. Each year, it claims the tournament hopes of many, with balls hitting bunkers and water traps aplenty. But why is it so fearsome, and where did it get its name? Just the thoughts of holes 11, 12 and 13 at Augusta National gives the likes of Rory McIlroy and Jordan Spieth the shivers. McIlroy hit 3 over and Spieth hit 4 over in their final rounds to blow their hopes of a green jacket in 2011 and 2016 respectively. But did you know Amen Corner's name is inspired by a jazz song from 1933? American sports writer Herbert Warren Wint, on the left here, wrote about it in 1958, referencing the song shouted in that Amen Corner when describing the run. Hole 11 is a par 4 over 520 yards with a green guarded by a pond and bunkers to the front edge. 12, perhaps golf's most famous hole, is a par 3 over just 155 yards. The green's guarded by Rays Creek at the front, more bunkers and azalea bushes ready to punish the smallest error. Then there's the 13th that teases the hook shot over the trees. It's a dogleg par 5 over 545 yards that's inviting for big hitters who want to reach the green in 2. If you want to win the Masters, you have to keep your score down around Amen Corner. So who'll be the next to fall victim to golf's most famous and most daunting challenge?
Time to talk boxing then, with three-weight world champion Duke McKenzie. Hi, Duke. Good to see you.
Thanks for inviting me on, gentlemen. I appreciate you.
We're going to start not with AJ Fury, but with Moses Atalma Filip Hrgović, which is now going to be for the IBF world title, isn't it? So, yeah, he could become the second youngest heavyweight world champ since Mike Tyson could, Moses, which is brilliant for him.
It's a good fight, and you know these two were scheduled to fight obviously for for a non-title fight, and now they've actually fighting for the vacant, one of the versions of the vacant world title. It makes it even more special. It makes it even more sort of sexy, if you will, because they're going to raise their game, and you're going to see a better Moses Atalma. You're going to see a better Hrgović, and for it's a good fight. It's a good fight for Moses because this will tell us exactly where this boy's at.
Is this his best opponent so far? Yeah,
it's his best opponent so far, and Hrgović, he takes a shot. If you see the fight he had against Daniel Dubois, how he stood through that fight, I don't know. And Dubois is an absolute monster. So it's a good fight. It's worthy of a world title fight, and I'm really looking forward to it. And I really hope that Moses Atalma wins the fight.
Yeah. We used to say this about Mike Tyson. When you were watching Mike Tyson come up, you're thinking, this is a real step up in class, this. It's Trevor Burbank now, he's going to find it. And then he just knock him over. I mean, I'm not saying that Atoma's going to do that, but we're not waiting for him to fail, but we're waiting for him to be tested. And whenever he is tested so far, he deals with it and he gets him out, doesn't he?
We want to see the test and we want to see how he reacts when he gets tested. It's okay knocking guys out early, 2, 3, 4 rounds, whatever it is, which he has done, and he's looked quite brilliant doing that. But we want to know what he's like in round 7, round 8, round 10.
Yeah.
Round 12 if it goes the distance. So this fight will tell us everything we need to know about Moses Atalma, and I'm sure he's going to do the job. I just don't know how he's going to do the job.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting.
Yeah, Gareth A's a big fan of Hrgović. He really rates him.
Yeah, Hrgović. Like I say, if you watch the fight with Hrgović and Daniel Dubois, that will tell you all you need to know about Hrgović. And Dubois is an absolute, and he's a beast. Daniel Dubois. I wouldn't fight Daniel Dubois. You have to pay me a huge amount of money.
Be a catch weight, wouldn't it?
But he, honestly, Daniel Dubois is such a good world champion, and he's improving all the time, Dubois. So, like I say, but, you know, when Dubois fought Hrgovic, it was even money for a while, and then until Dubois, you know, he changed his game from about the sort of 5th, 6th round, Dubois. And once Dubois went to work on Hrgovic, but how Hrgovic stood up to that power, to them shots, because he was taking punches flush. So this will give you an indication as to where Moses Atalma is in terms of not only what he dishes out, but what he can actually take.
We were talking to Gareth A. Davis yesterday from Fight Night about AJ versus Fury, and the likelihood now that it's going to be in New York. This isn't a big fight for America. I mean, is it really? I mean, it's going to take place there, but it's a kind of domestic dust-up, really, isn't it?
It is a domestic dust-up, and it is a fight that the British public deserve, and it should be over here. But money talks ultimately, and that's why it's ended up where it's ended up in New York at the Mecca of boxing, Madison Square Garden.
That's the only thing that saves it, because it is such an iconic boxing venue. If it was, if it was in a car park somewhere or at a stadium, it wouldn't feel the same. But the fact it's at Madison Square Garden,
well, that does make it special. Everybody wants to fight at the Garden. Every boxer would love to top the bill at Madison Square Garden. I've only been there as a fan, just to have a look around.
Yeah, sure.
I've never done it, but like I say, but it's a tremendous fight. And I mean, up until AJ's last fight, I would have picked AJ to win. Now I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure, because I don't think Fury was exactly brilliant in his last fight. There are lots of miles on his clock, but he's obviously fresher. He's the fresher of the two, him and AJ. And I think there's a lot of psychological issues going on with AJ right now. I think he's battling demons that we haven't even got a clue about, and I don't know if he can get over what's going on in his head.
Yeah, I mean, it's very difficult to tell in that last fight, wasn't it, really, of sort of 2 rounds and a sort of poor start. We don't know if he's still got the appetite after the sort of tragedy at the start of the year.
It wasn't that difficult to see, because the first shot AJ went over from was a very weak uppercut. It wasn't a great shot, and as soon as it connected, he went over like a stack of cards.
Yeah.
And it was painful to watch.
Yeah.
AJ is revered and loved by this nation. Everybody loves AJ. I've got young kids in my gym who want to be AJ. Do you see what I mean? And they all start and watch these fights, and they couldn't believe that he was on the deck so early in the fight. I would love to see him retire from the sport and walk away from boxing and not take this fight against Tyson Fury. But money talks, and ultimately, it's prize fighting.
Yeah.
And the prize is huge for these two. So they're not going to... AJ's not about to say, no, I don't want the fight. He's got to just hope for the best, that he can somehow conquer whatever demons are going on in his mind, and get himself together and get his head back on the job, because I don't like what I'm seeing when I see AJ now. This isn't the AJ of old.
No, I know exactly what you mean. Just a quick one on Conor Benn, Ryan Garcia next month. You've been up front before. You're not quite sure about the credentials of Conor Benn. What about this fight? Do you give him a chance? Give him a puncher's chance?
Listen, anybody's got a puncher's chance. Yeah. It doesn't matter. You put on a pair of gloves and get in that square circle, everybody's got a chance. But we're talking about levels. And Ryan Garcia is a much improved world champion now, and he's proven at this level. Where unfortunately for Conor, he's talked himself into a world title fight, which very few people can do. That will tell his marketing power. But when the bell goes, and bearing in mind, he hasn't boxed at this weight for some 4 years now, 147, 147 pounds, the welterweight division. I don't know if he can be physically strong enough at this weight division. His last fight was at just over the welterweight division. I think 3 pounds over that weight division. When you have to drop that last 2 or 3 pounds, it can cripple you physically. It ruins you. So, we're not going to know until the bell goes. But listen, we all wish him luck. It would be great if he could pull it off, but I just can't see it.
Nice one. Good to see you, Duke, as always. Thanks for popping in. More from Duke alongside Spencer Oliver and Simon Jordan. Is that right? I think he's away, isn't he? Oh, he's back.
Perhaps he's on Zoom.
He's on Zoom somewhere on the beach.
He was, because he was away for about...
Of course he was. Paul Smith and the guys, 7 p.m. tonight. It's the talkSPORT Boxing YouTube channel for Talk Boxing. So still to come, we're going to talk about the Manchester United audio archive. Wayne Barton, author and podcaster, has accessed it and has found some gold. and he'll be sharing some of that with us shortly. We're here with Toolstation, first stop for everything for the job, from 7 a.m. Monday to Saturday. Start strong, start it right. First stop, Toolstation.
My issue is, and you say he's in a minority of one at the moment, I'm not sure he is because, we haven't seen the African Federation, for example, come out against him as yet. And you know what? I've got this feeling he won't be forced to resign because he's shown his vanity. He's shown this astonishing lack of self-awareness. It's absolutely beyond belief that I think he will be so difficult to prize out of his position. David Bernstein's going to be on later on, and he will tell us how difficult it was to get rid of Sepp Blatter. And I think we're in a similar situation.
That's a good point. Yeah, look, I totally understand that. But I know that he lost a couple of seniors, people in senior positions. I think over the last few days at FIFA, people have resigned. And I just always feel when that sort of stuff starts happening, when others that a few weeks ago were reasonably close to him, all of a sudden have now just gone in the middle of the night in a puff of smoke, they're out the door. And I'm sure others would be tempted to follow. I just feel that I don't think it's going to happen quickly, Jeff, whatever's going to happen. I'm sure it's going to be pretty protracted and drag out over the months ahead. But I do think eventually this will end with someone stepping forward, a credible contender that they feel could take FIFA forward in a different direction. And I'm pretty sure eventually something will happen and he'll probably stand down.
Now we have a new podcast launching from the talkSPORT fan network. It's called United Unheard. It uncovers all the hidden history of Manchester United through rare archive audio, forgotten interviews and untold stories. Before we chat to Wayne Barton, who's curated it all, author of many fine books on Manchester United, we're going to play you a clip from back in 1989. That period when the infamous Michael Knighton looked like he was taking over the club. That's right, the guy who put the full kit on and was doing keepy uppies and shots towards the Stretford end. This is Sir Bobby Charlton angrily denying he'd be installed as chairman of the club if Knighton took over.
When Amir Madani said that this club really shouldn't be owned by one person, nobody should have total control, and the people should have it, I agree with him 100%. I don't think any one person should have enough, have a majority share. I think it should be the people's, and hopefully that. Well, I know that that's his thinking as well. But I was a bit incensed when I found out last night, and I just wanted to set the record straight. I'm not wanting to be chairman of the football of Man United. I'm not, you know.
There we are. Gives you a little flavour. Yeah. Wayne joins us now. Hi, Wayne.
Afternoon, guys. How are you doing?
Good, thanks. Now, your love of Manchester United, it must have been, a labour of love, I guess, trawling through all the archive and finding these sort of nuggets.
Yeah, I was approached a few years ago by the family of Tom Tyrrell, the Manchester-based journalist, and they wanted me to have his collection. I didn't know what it was until I went there and got it, and it turned out to be this massive, massive audio archive, which I've spent, a couple of years digitizing. And yeah, obviously as a big fan of the club, it's been like watching my favorite movie with all new deleted scenes all the way through it. It's just been incredible, and yeah, so I thought as much as I enjoyed going through it, it's about time that some of this got out into the public domain again.
How far does it go back, Wayne?
There's it goes really deep into the 70s, actually.
Wow.
I was only looking back the other day, one of Steve Coppell's first interviews he's a United player. So, yeah, all the way back there. There's Brian Robson's first ever interview as a United player. So, yeah, all the way through to around 2010, 2011.
Wow.
And is it all interview tapes, basically?
Yeah, cassette tapes, mini discs. They were reel-to-reels I had to go through.
Wow.
A lot of converting. Probably over 1,000 hours now of it. It's really like every single person, because Tom was so trusted at the club, every single person you could think of, obviously most notably Sir Alex. Just every single person you could think of at United in that time has been interviewed by him, and plenty of interviews as well, not just like one or two, just loads and loads of stuff. So
let's bring you another one. This is from 1989. We're going to hear from Sir Alex Ferguson, just 3 years into his 26 years at the club.
They want to see the best, that's obvious, but they want me to buy the best. If not, then they want to see younger ones coming in, and they want to see our own club. Now, I said, and I've said this some time ago, that what the work has been done just now will not be recognised for some years.
Wow, that's a prophetic statement, isn't
Amazing,
it?
isn't it?
Especially about seeing the young ones coming through.
yeah, and when you think about it, this was at the time when his position at the club was at most risk. All that speculation about him losing his job. I think that's the jewel of the archive, is really the fact that obviously now, with all the biographies and all the stories that people tell with the benefit of hindsight, they can tell the story as a full picture, but this places you in the moment. When there's that sense of vulnerability there, but you can see he's coming out fighting. He's insisting, and obviously we were 3 or 4 years before even knowing there was a good youth team there, before they won the Youth Cup, before the names like Ryan Giggs and David Beckham were public knowledge, really. So it shows you how the strength of his conviction, even in 1989, and those are the things that I'm really excited about with the podcast, to tell those kind of stories a little bit more, because I think obviously now, with the benefit of hindsight, we know all the stories very well, and we're so familiar with them.
Yeah.
To go back into this moment in time when we're not quite so sure and we don't have that conviction, but he's still got the strength of it, it makes it a really, really nice listen.
Are there any interviews with David Beckham?
Yeah, there's some that are going on the podcast. There's some really, like before. This is before France '98. He's talking about being best mates with the Nevilles, and the naivety of just buying a house in Manchester, being spotted at the Bobby Charlton soccer school, all those kind of. There's a great naivety in there, and those are the ones that I really like before they become super famous or super successful. Those moments in time which you can't really manufacture now, going backwards.
Well, we'll play one more clip from the series. This was an infamous moment in the 90s for Manchester United. The Kung Fu kick at Selhurst Park by Eric Cantona on the Palace fan Matthew Simmons. This is the then Manchester United chairman Martin Edwards talking about it.
Well, I think the first thing was, do we keep Eric or not? I think the board decided that, anybody's worth a second chance. I think it was an unfortunate incident. But then in granting him the second chance, we then obviously had to decide the severity of the punishment. And, which I've already been quoted as saying that Manchester United is bigger than Eric Cantona, and the game of football is bigger than Manchester United. So we felt that, we had to set an example and make the punishment fit the crime.
Certainly not the length of ban that Sir Alex Ferguson would have been going for. But I suppose Martin Edwards probably was lent on by the FA at that time. Their hands were tied, weren't they, Wayne, really?
Well, that's the interesting thing about that interview is like it's 24 hours before he has the conversation with the FA, so it's actually imposing their sanction. Well, the great thing about the podcast is I'm very fortunate enough to be in contact with Martin. So Martin has actually sat down with me for a few episodes of this podcast.
Okay.
One of them is a reaction to this, talking about it 20 to 30 years later. I think it's such a bold statement, isn't it? Manchester United's bigger than Cantona, football's bigger than United. It sort of leans into what he feels his responsibility as a chairman of a big club is. And so I thought it was such an extraordinary statement. I wanted to make sure if I could get him down to sit for like 4 or 5, 6 of these podcasts, which he was good enough to do. Yeah. A lot of them reacting to his moments, his comments at the end of the day, including this one. So he's actually reacting with the benefit of hindsight now, obviously, but giving us a little bit more meat on the bones, such as United's infamous colour change in '96 when they changed the kits at half-time, and the commercial impact that had, and the pursuit of Alan Shearer. And what actually really went on there. A lot of stuff that, is on the record from Martin of the time, he's been good enough to go back and revisit. So it makes it really good, compelling balance, really.
And the first episode's out now?
Yeah, you can download it right now everywhere you get your podcasts. It's that first clip that you aired today. It's Bobby Charlton saying United should belong to the people, which I thought was such a fantastic message to send out as the first episode. So, yeah, that's available now.
Thank you, Wayne. Thanks very much.
Thanks, guys.
Wayne Barton there, the curator of...
Doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. I mean, I'm not a Manchester United fan. I'm fascinated by all of that. United Unheard, it's on the talkSPORT app or wherever you get your podcasts. We will catch up with Andy Strickland from the cult indie band The Loft. Big Pompey fan joining us for a chat. David Morrissey, actor and Liverpool fan, is going to be popping in to see us in the next hour. And Rick Riley, the author of Commander-in-Chief, How Golf Explains Trump, will be joining us after the president wins his latest club championship at another club, of course, that he owns. That's all to come.
Good news about Areola is he went through this with Bournemouth. He lost the whole back four.
Yeah.
And he had some late signings at Bournemouth. And look how they turned out. And look what he did. And I'm pretty sure with the Liverpool ownership, I can be critical of any ownership, including my own, that over the years, they've spent money and they've won a couple of league titles. Last year, they spent nearly £500 million. You could argue that maybe they overspent in some areas and should have spent in others.
But that's hindsight. Nobody was criticising the window at the
100% everyone thought we'd walk the league. Yeah. And this is football 12 months later where everyone thinks now we're the worst top 6 team in the Premier League. So I dare say Liverpool will look very different by the time the window closes.
Let's hear from Dominic Szoboszlai, shall we? He was speaking ahead of that recent friendly against Leeds and he discussed the Liverpool squad depth.
I think I can talk from everybody's side that we want to be successful this season. It's a long term because obviously we have a new manager. The team has been changed and it's maybe not in a couple of months, but in the long term I think it will work out.
In the long term, it will work, says Dominic.
Yeah, absolutely. He's not a mug. He's just signed a new long-term deal. He sees what's going on. And by the way, they've got a lot of young talent in that squad. I know everyone's trying to say they need 10 new pieces or whatever else, but they still have a lot of good young players.
Feels like it could be a big year for Ngamota, bearing in mind they're trying to sign wide players, but they haven't yet managed to get anyone.
He will be a sensation this year. I'll make a prediction that he'll win Young Player of the Year in the Premier League, without a doubt. And they're probably more confident because of him and because he can play left and right side.
We've got the clips of the month for July coming up in a few moments' time after Max Scott with the sports headlines.
Talk Sport.
Thank you, Paul. Good afternoon. Ben Stokes has said he would absolutely love to coach England one day. Speaking to the For the Love of Cricket podcast, he also said he was surprised Harry Brook wasn't given the Test captaincy. But England legend Steve Harmison reckons Joe Root will be a success and we shouldn't judge him on his first stint.
The Joe Root captain, Mark 1, had Ben Stokes Bristol to deal with. He had Ben Stokes injuries, so you didn't have the all-rounder to balance the team up. The horrendous time of COVID for the whole country and cricket keeping the lights on for sport and Joe Root having to deal with all that.
Elsewhere, Arsene Wenger says FIFA's U-turn on Gianni Infantino's sell-off plan was absolutely necessary and beyond question. He also said he believed in FIFA serving the game with commitment, transparency and integrity. But Darren McAntony reckons the statement is just 5 days too late.
He'd have more credibility if he'd come out before the end of pay month, the end of July, when he's probably getting a cheque cashed or whatever else for his jobs. If he'd come out then and said, look, line in the sand, I don't agree with this. So, again, what he's saying now is irrelevant, isn't it?
Coventry City have permanently signed Carl Rushworth for £22.5 million. He was, of course, on loan last season from Brighton. We understand, though, Brighton do have a buyback clause. And Cape Verde coach Babista has been appointed as the new head coach of Moroccan side Renaissance Berkane. After talks, he's decided to quit his nation, having taken them to the last 32 at the World Cup. There had been initial speculation he may try to juggle both roles. Get more at talksport.com.
talkSPORT News.
British and French vessels have rescued 157 migrants from a burning dinghy in the Channel this morning, and a 14-year-old boy has drowned in London. Amelia's got more in half an hour.
talkSPORT weather with QuickFit. Keep summer journeys safe. Visit your local centre or quickfit.com to book your tyres, MOTs and servicing so you can drive away happy every time.
Persistent at times, heavy rain will continue in the north, maybe even in the studio. Paul's been slipping around during this bulletin. Scattered showers elsewhere, mainly in western areas, dry in the south with warm temperatures.
Clips of the week on talkSPORT with Toolstation. Only got time for one stop? First stop, Toolstation.
But we nearly had the ultimate clip of the week, didn't we, just now?
Yeah.
I managed to fall over. There is a sea of trailing wires in this studio.
I mean, absolutely.
Health and safety nightmare. And for the first time ever, in an attempt to go into the gallery, managed to fall over them all, which is why Max lost the plot. So it's a shame the cameras weren't on me.
I know, it reminded me of Motti at Cheltenham that night when he got up.
I left the headphones on. Anyway, I'm all right, in case you're wondering, or care. So anyway, July clips of the month. I'm going to ask you to vote for your two semi-finals. It's pretty straightforward. We'll have 6 clips, 3 in each semi-final. Vote for your favourites about 3:30. We'll go on to the final. You can vote for your 2 finalists. We'll play the winner just before 4 o'clock. We kick off this month with your co-commentator, Alvin Martin, with an interesting turn of phrase.
The referee didn't give the free kick at the time, so it's a throw into Canada. Well, he did give the free kick, and there was a real yell there, wasn't there, from McEwen? And the referees don't... They seem to turn a
a blind ear to that now?
How'd you turn a blind ear?
No
I haven't quite
idea.
worked that out. So what's next, then?
It's a rare clip from Times Radio where on The Breakfast Show with Stig Abel and Kate McCann, they were discussing people getting overly amorous around the swimming pool.
I was at the Lido the other day. You get the whistle blown if you're petting in the pool.
No.
It wasn't at me, incidentally. I wasn't doing that. Someone else
So
was.
someone was snogging in a pool near you?
And they got the whistle blown.
Yeah, good recovery there from Kate. This was an odd
Never
clip.
works when you start laughing.
No, that's true. This was an odd clip featuring our England correspondent, Faye Carruthers, in which a technical glitch made it sound like Frank Bruno was constantly agreeing with her.
Well, they're currently in the air, Adrian, and they really didn't know anything about it. When we arrived at training earlier on, so at the end of the Matchday -2 close training, we were going to be speaking to both Marcus Rashford and Morgan Rogers. A Mexican journalist came up to myself and my producer and said, "Have you seen that the game is going to be brought forward?"
Know what I mean, Harry?
Yeah, Faye. Max Rushton, that's his favourite.
He did like that one, yeah. What's next, Andy?
Anyway, let's get some weird travel now from our weird travel guy, Chris Madden.
Yeah.
The A48, the closure is due to an obstruction on the road, and approaching Appleby on the A66 in Cumbria, a closure due to the recovery of a two-lorry accident. That's your very latest from me.
Ivor Cutler doing the travel.
Ronnie Forsyth there.
Time now to salute the TalkSPORT caller of the World Cup.
The thing is about Dan Burn is he's Dan Burn, do you know what I mean? But
yeah, well, there we are. Dan Burn is Dan Burn.
You definitely can't argue with that.
Definitely the caller of the World Cup.
And finally, it's Sean Dyche and Shabana Hearn enjoying a mid-show snack.
No, no chocolate wafers when you're a kid. Not as good as tonics. Tonics are incredible.
Oh, that's amazing.
A little bit tonics-ish.
Oh, wow.
Tonics better. They're good, actually.
I'd smash that.
I can't believe you just said that.
I would.
So what was your favourite? Was Alvin Martin turning a blind ear? Was it heavy petting at the swimming pool on Times Radio? Was it Frank Bruno interrupting Faye Carruthers? Was it weird travel guy Chris Madden? Was it Dan Burn is Dan Burn? Or was it Shaban saying she'd smash it? Let us know. Go along to at TSH&J, TSHANDJ, and you can vote for your clip of the month. It's pretty straightforward. There's 2 semi-finals there. Vote for your favourite so far, and we'll play the winner at 4 o'clock. That's at TSHANDJ on X. So there we are. That's the clips of the month with our very good friends at Toolstation. Oh, yes, Alan Brazil is back tomorrow morning at 6 o'clock. How can I possibly forget? And we bring you an extra clip. We're hoping, with Arsenal going Greek recently, that they can bring this special guest on, a favourite of Alan, to join him tomorrow. Here we go.
Portugal take on Greece in the big opener. Now let's get a Greek point of view from the Greek daily newspaper Eleftheris Typos. Goodness me, I hope I pronounced that right. And let's say a very good morning to the next guest, George Georgiakopoulos. George, I'm sorry, I'm struggling with I always have struggled with Greek names. George, good morning.
Good morning. You didn't do too badly, actually.
Not too badly. Imagine if he'd done badly.
Biggest understatement.
Let's get George on. Ollie, get George on tomorrow. It'll be good to see the big man back tomorrow at 6 o'clock on the Sports Breakfast. But they were the clips of the month, thanks to Toolstation.
Clips of the week on talkSPORT with Toolstation. Only got time for one stop? First stop, Toolstation.
It's the sad comedian, tears of a clown. He's not happy with the love and the glory. He's not happy, you know.
That is Sad Comedian by The Loft. And if you're watching on YouTube or connected TV, you'll see that in the video is the one and only Stuart Lee.
Brilliant.
Miming along to the tune. It's from their new album, and the band have had an interesting history. Were a big band in the 90s, signed by Creation, a sort of cult indie band that broke up in quite spectacular fashion at the Hammersmith Palais in London.
That's got to be a good story.
But they've matured, of course, and have all come back together as friends and are back making music once again. Badges is the new album, and their guitarist is an old colleague of mine on 90 Minutes and a big Portsmouth fan, Andy Strickland. Hi, Andy.
Paul, hello.
Good to see you. Yeah.
Yeah, you too, man.
So, tell us a bit about the new album and how long have you guys been back together again now?
A couple of years now. We've actually done 2 albums in just over a year, which is a bit mad, and I suppose it's making up for lost time.
Yeah.
And we worked out the other day that we've done more gigs in the last year than we've done in our entire history previous to. So, yeah, it's a bit of a sort of late spurt, I guess.
Yeah.
Go on.
I was going to say that the band did have a great following. We say Alan McGee signed you for the same label as Jesus and Mary Chain and Oasis. So, but then there was artistic differences, wasn't there, amongst the personnel?
I think that's what they call it, isn't it? Yeah. We actually split up on stage at Hammersmith Palais in front of 3,000 people, which is terribly sad, but it does mean that people remember you 20 years later, or 40 years later.
Sure.
Was it mid-song or was it at the end?
It was mid-song.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
Did it get physical, Andy?
No, it nearly got physical. In the dressing room, one of the other members I thought, right, I'm going to punch his lights out here. And I realised that he was standing in front of all my guitars. And I thought, if I hit him now, he's going to go straight back, straight through my guitar. So I sort of let him off the hook.
Fair enough.
So, as I said, you've all matured. What sort of brought you back together? What was the catalyst for that? Because you did have a great following, and there's a lot of people who had love for the band and were pleased to see you back, which is why you've been able to sort of tour and make new music again.
Yeah, well, we did one of those BBC sessions at Maida Vale, and it was so good, and we played so well. We all afterwards sort of went, blimey, why don't we do more of this? This is really good. And so Pete and I got together and started writing some songs, and we quite quickly came up with enough for the first album, and then it sort of snowballed from there, really. It was a bit like, exercising a muscle that hadn't been used for ages. And by the time the first album came out last year, we were sort of well on our way to having enough songs for Badges, which is the album that you mentioned that came out recently. There we are.
And you've been doing lots of live stuff as well, haven't you, around the album?
We have. We started off, just a nice little quiet warm-up show at the Royal Albert Hall.
Wow, really?
Yeah, supporting Belle and Sebastian. And then we went out and did our own tour in May, and we've just finished doing another little extra bit this weekend, actually. We played in King's Cross at the Water Rats on Saturday night, which was fantastic. That's we're having a little bit of a break now.
Are you playing to sort of old fans, or is it new?
Are they bringing their kids, Andy? That's the thing. You've seen a bit of that going on?
Definitely, yeah. It is a mix. It is a mix. Absolutely, for sure. And on Saturday, this always amazes me. I was approached by a sort of 50-year-old Japanese guy who said, "Oh yeah, my wife and I have just come over from Japan for tonight. Can you sign these records?" And I just find it quite, extraordinary. But yeah, definitely, there's definitely a generational gap. There are quite a few young people coming in because I suppose Creation Records has always been hip, hasn't it?
Yeah.
So people check it out, and the Stuart Lee thing has helped as well.
Yeah, how did you get Stuart involved with that?
That's interesting. Yeah.
Well, we played in London last year at the Lexington in Islington, which is a great gig, and Stuart just bought a ticket and turned up, and he is a really big, indie music fan.
Yeah.
So when we did the song "Sad Comedian," we were just sort of pondering him, and Pete, our singer, just dropped him an email and said, "Look, you can tell us to go away, but we've got this song called Sad Comedian." He said, "Yeah, I'll do it." And he ended up singing the whole thing in the video, which wasn't really what we thought we would get him to do, originally, but that's what he did. So it was brilliant.
Fantastic. Now, if there's any people that remember the magazine 90 Minutes, Andy worked with us on the magazine, and if you enjoyed Damage in the Box, the weekly cartoon strip.
I love that strip.
Andy was one of the team that we'd have to sit down with me, Andy, every week and try and come up with it. Brilliantly drawn by
who drew it?
A guy called Nick Davis. A brilliant artist. But it was a bit of a team effort, wasn't it, at certain times, to try and come up with a little funny little 4-panel comic strip.
Yeah, I think it was mainly down to you and me. And then when you retired from it, I sort of took it over for a little while. But that was one of the great highlights of the week, wasn't it? Coming up with something daft enough to go in there.
Yeah. The calendar, we did that calendar. That was one of my, I think I've seen people sort of putting them up on eBay and stuff, and have talked to me about it in the past. That was a high point of Damage in the Box, I think.
Yeah, really good. I'll tell you the one thing I don't miss, and when the World Cup comes around, you remember it, all these supplements, going through all the teams and best player and best stadium. I think, oh my God, I'm so pleased I don't have to do any of that anymore.
Now, I used to go to Fratton Park with you now and again in the heady days of a really good side that almost got promoted, but Newcastle and West Ham got there first, didn't they? But the sort of Guy Whittingham, Kit Simons era. And,
we had some good nights down at Fratton Park, didn't we?
Yeah. It's the sad. I mean, it's been a tough couple of seasons. I mean, how optimistic are you? What was it, 18th and 16th last couple of years since you came back? So,
well, I think towards the end of last season, it was really obvious that we couldn't just do a hang on and hope for the best season again. The owners, the American owners, they're not. They had to put their hand in their pocket a bit. We know we're never going to be up there with the big spenders and the parachute payment clubs and things, but we couldn't do a third season just desperately hanging on and thinking we're probably going to go down. So they have spent a bit of money. We've got half a dozen new players, and one of them's cost as much as our entire spending budget last year. Milovanovic, the new Serbian striker, who we're yet to see on the pitch, but so I'm hopeful that we might end up just below halfway this season.
Well, it's better than 18th, isn't it? Yeah. Well, Andy, good to talk to you. We're going to play out with another track from Badges called 1955. And I take it it's on Spotify. Have you got a vinyl version as well?
Oh, yeah, all formats. But, yeah, it's on Spotify. Can I just quickly say best wishes to Danny Kelly?
You certainly can, yeah. And I think all the listeners will totally agree with that. Much love for Danny. And you're an old friend of his from the music business. So, yeah, we're all rooting for Dan, certainly. So, good to talk to you, Andy. All the best.
You too. Cheers, guys.
Take care. So let's play 1955 from the Loft.
And the band started up, and your mother caught his eye. 1955.
No Vin, no fee. That's on the back page of The Sun, with also Arsenal target Vinny Jr. back in training with Madrid. You feel as though, if the Madrid deal happens, he will end up staying. But around Bruno, they've had a deal rejected for £75 million. So do you think Gabby actually, depending on how these plan out, Arsenal might have a quiet window?
Yeah, but they don't need a busy window. Just won the Premier League, and they're going to strengthen. They've lost Trossard. They brought in Zolis, who's a very good winger. If they bring in Bruno Guimaraes, I think that's enough to go again and win the Premier League anyway, even without him. But it's going to make them stronger. And I think he's a fantastic player. I don't think he should be the same fee as Tonali because of the age difference. 3 years older than Tonali. So you look at him, no sell-on value for Arsenal if they sign him. So I think 75, 80 is about right.
30 million less, okay.
Just because of the age I'm looking at.
Okay. Yeah. But they're not going to have... But how important is it that Arsenal do get in a midfield, especially at the start of the season, because they won't have Declan Rice?
Yeah, and they've sold Norgard to Everton, so you're looking at that midfield and you're saying it's a bit light now. I think it's a fantastic player. We're just talking, me and Jeff, off air. That probably says Zubamendi, maybe you're a squad player next season.
Yeah, and I think the thing is with Bruno Guimaraes that he's reportedly said that he wants to join Arsenal. So the deal will happen. So from a Newcastle perspective, get it done. Yeah. Don't let this become Alexander Isak Mark II.
Actor David Morrissey is going to be popping in to see us later on. He's appearing at the play Oresteia at the Bridge Theatre, just down the road from our studios near Tower Bridge. And he's a big Liverpool fan, so he's going to come and talk a bit of Liverpool with us. Before that, though, we head to Florida, where the Florida Open Pool Championship is taking place. Our own Andy Goldstein, a pretty mean player, of course, is in action at 4 o'clock. And you'll be able to watch it all on the talkSPORT YouTube channel. But Andy joins us now. Hi, Andy.
Boys, good afternoon or good morning to you. How you doing? You all right?
Yeah, we're good. We're good. So you feeling good for this game? You got just under 40 minutes to get in the zone.
Yeah, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good actually. I'm sorry about the lighting problem here, but this is.
It looks like you're in witness protection.
I am. Hold on. Let me. While I'm talking, let me take you into the light.
Okay.
In fact, I can do it around the match table actually, which is the match table that I'll be playing on.
Right. Okay.
So tell me if it's too loud where I am, but there you go.
No, you're fine so far.
Yeah, I'm very much looking forward to it. This is the place where last year when I was invited by Emily at Matchroom, where I actually won my very, very first game ever as a pro.
I remember
as a pro. And then I was invited back to play in the UK and I won 2 more. So now I have an official world ranking of 541.
Right.
And my opponent today, by the name of Michael Jednak, is ranked in the 600s. So
you got a chance.
This is the thing that when you play pool and snooker, the favourite, the high-ranked player, sits on the left-hand side as you look at the table. That's my seat today.
Wow. You're the highest-ranking player. Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah, only out of the two, not here today. I mean, there's proper players here.
I mean, you are a very good player, and you're good at those sort of sports. I mean, how much do you actually practice?
When I know I've got an event coming up, I'll practice about 2 or 3 times a week for about 2 hours at a time. I've been playing at a place called Spots and Stripes. Nigel owns this wonderful club in just around the corner from the old talkSPORT in London, in Bermondsey. And I play with a couple of pros there, Nigel and Ram. And I play when I'm on drive. I play sort of, what do I play? I play midday till about 2 o'clock. So I play 2 hours, maybe 2 or 3 times a week. But what I have noticed, this is very bizarre, I've noticed it only recently, is that my eyes are starting to go on the long shots. I think, you know, like, you look at different sports, like I'm guessing footballers lose their pace first. I'm not comparing myself to like Teddy Sheringham or Michael Owen, but I've noticed over the last couple of weeks that the long balls that I'm having to pot, I'm sort of rattling them or not even getting close. And then what I'm doing, I'm looking at the tip as if it's the tip's fault. Obviously, it's mine.
Right.
But I'm getting used to. I'm blaming pieces of equipment. So people watching might go, "Oh yeah, that's something wrong with his tip. That couldn't have been him because he's far too good for that."
Have you got Benty playing? Has he had a game with you?
No, Bentley's paddle, right?
Oh yeah.
So unless the ball's spongy and bouncy or whatever they're made out of, he's not playing. He's obsessed with that. He keeps thinking he can beat me, and I'm like, how can you beat me? Like if you turn up coming second, you've had a result. I don't quite know. He's convinced that we went to a pub nearby talkSPORT years ago, and Management Max and his cousin both beat me. But what I just want to set the record straight. What happened in that is that when his cousin was on the ball to beat me, I had to take an urgent phone call. So sadly, the match didn't finish.
Okay. Well, you qualified that. Have you got to go and change into a bit of nylon before the game, or can you wear your civvies? Okay.
No, I can't. I'm going to get into a bit of trouble because I've got light-coloured trainers on. I don't know if you can see that. I should be wearing black shoes. But you know, listen. If you invite me to the pool, I'm going to wear Nikes.
You're going to be Infantino. Going to be Infantino, haven't you, with those trainers?
I'm thinking of doing a breakaway pool league as well, by the way.
Good stuff.
I'm going to go and change in a minute. Genuinely, all jokes aside, I'm so excited about it. I'm honoured to be invited. If you're watching on YouTube, you can probably see it's an amazing stuff. If you've seen The Colour of Money, sort of Paul Newman movie, where they go into a hall and there's like 60 tables, that's what it's like here. Brilliant. And there's so many great players. And so my match will be live in about half an hour's time. What time have you got there?
Yeah, we got, it's 26 minutes, about 34 minutes, 35 minutes to you.
Yeah, so
brilliant.
It'll be live on the talkSPORT YouTube channel and also the WNT channel as well. So
excellent.
The first round is always difficult because you get predominantly good players. But the great thing here, and all 9-ball pool events, is you get 2 chances. So if you lose your first match, you go into the loser's pool with every other loser in the first round, and then you have a little competition, and that eventually spits out the winner later on in the next round proper. So if I don't win the first match, I'll have another match later on today. But you know, I've never won a first round match. All my matches have been in the losers' half. So
well, we
again,
wish you well.
History could be made.
Excellent. Good luck. Well, we look forward to it. Good luck, Andy. All the best.
Can I just say as well, Paul, before I go?
Yeah.
That I am here with talkSPORT, just in case my wife and children are watching back home. I haven't been to Universal Studios. I'm not going to Epic tomorrow, just so they're aware of that.
Just so that's good. It's important you cleared that up. Cheers, Andy. Thanks a lot.
Cheers, boys.
Take care. It's Andy Goldstein. You can watch him live on the talkSPORT YouTube channel, playing at the Florida Open Pool Championship. David Morrissey, actor and Liverpool fan, will be popping in to see us in a few moments' time.
Let's take a very quick call on Trent Alexander-Arnold. Oliver is a Liverpool fan. Morning, Oliver.
Morning, how you doing, lads? You all right?
Yeah.
All right,
really
Oliver.
Good, yeah. Would you like to see Trent back?
All good. I'd absolutely love to see Trent back. I think Mo Salah missed him very much last season. Obviously, Salah had a pretty poor season last season, but when he come back with Real Madrid, it was very frosty, and I think the damage is being done, to be honest with you, but I would love to see him back in a Liverpool shirt, yeah.
Look, there's no doubt. Nobody can doubt his quality. On the ball, he's as good as anything, anywhere.
He was winning games from right back. Obviously the Barcelona game in 2019, that cross, and then I think he was very, very important when we won the league with Slot as well. So much quality, from right back.
No doubt about it.
Yeah, brilliant. I think a lot of Liverpool fans would share that view. They'd all love to see Trent back. Oliver, thanks very much indeed.
Maybe Jeff as well. Thanks, Oliver. You wonder though whether the player, having not really done it at Real Madrid, would want to sort of maybe at least stick around for another 6 months to see exactly where he figures and where he fares. He'll know pretty soon. As players, you get the vibe whether or not you're part of the in club or whether you're on the outside of it.
Who doesn't love the Ryder Cup, the competition that ignites and unites the greats of golf like no other? 1927 brought us the very first edition at the Worcester Country Club in Massachusetts. For the first 22 editions, when it was just British and Irish golfers versus the US, America were only beaten 3 times. But in 1979, in came Europe, and in came Seve Ballesteros, who went on to win 5 of them. Since Team Europe became a thing, the head-to-head reads Europe 13, USA 9. Europe's last away win was the miracle at Medina in 2012. America hasn't won on European soil since 1993 at the Belfry. So what about the money? The most recent Ryder Cup in Rome drew in a record 271,000 spectators and boosted the Italian economy by €262 million. The PGA of America TV deal with NBC is worth $440 million, but 2025 will be the first time ever that the US team will receive a fee for playing. Of course, in Rome, legend has it Patrick Cantley refused to wear his cap because he wasn't being paid to wear it, though he insisted it simply didn't fit. Either way, Team Europe have made it clear they're more than happy to keep playing for the thrill, joy and prestige of the Ryder Cup.
Yes, it's Hawksbee and Jacobs here on talkSPORT. You can vote for your favourite clip of the month. We'll play the winner just before 4. You like the smutty stuff, as always. I think they were leading the way last time I looked. But go to @TSH&J and vote for your 2 finalists. They will bring you the winner just before 4. But our next guest is appearing in the Oresteia, a play at the Bridge Theatre, just along the road from our studios here at Tower Bridge. It's actor David Morrissey. Good to see you, David.
Good to see you back here in your proper schedule.
That's right, back to the normal hours.
It's all been a bit weird. Andy Goldstein on breakfast was a bit disconcerting.
That messes with your head.
It does. Yeah. But it's good to see everybody back in the right place.
That's right. So the play, it's quite it's a kind of a Greek trilogy, a reworking, a modern take on it, isn't it? That's all the rage with the Odyssey out at the moment.
Yeah, it is. Although I think it's directed and written by Simon Stone, and he's done this before. He did it with Yerma and Favre and stuff, and so he's updated this classic text. And it's wonderful. I mean, I'm really enjoying it. It's a long night. I mean, you can't get away from that, but it has 2 intervals. But everybody my friends who have come, they said it flies by. I mean, there's a lot in it. And it's basically a family tragedy, really, about a father who's slightly, in the classic, it's a man who sacrifices his daughter to win a war. And in our story, it's a man who sort of publicly shames his daughter in order to save his own reputation. And the calamitous outcome of that, really, and how that just goes on and on and on, and the repercussions of that. And but yeah, people are loving it. So yeah, and it's just around the corner. What a lovely neighbourhood to work in.
Yeah, it's nice, just in the shadow of Tower Bridge and all that. Yeah. You've got Simon Stone. The way he works is a bit sort of Mike Leigh, isn't it? Although the subject matter is different. Where you can be. The script isn't maybe finalised until a couple of days.
So you've signed up to nothing, really, just to him and the other actors in it, all of whom are wonderful. And he writes it as he's going along, and he delivers the pages in the evening. You learn them in the evening. When you get in the morning, you're with the other actors and you just bash it and run the lines. And then he'll come in the afternoon and listen to that and mould it. So it's all seat of your pants stuff, really. Right.
But does that change once it's decided on? Once the production starts, is that then written in stone?
No, it's really sort of changes as well. I mean, our first preview was actually our first run through.
Wow!
And that was 4 hours 40, something like that. It was quite long, and then we got it right down to go the next performance. But yeah, you're sort of but that's the best thing. It's not. It's never boring. You're on your toes. It's really asking a lot of you. Theatre does that anyway, but particularly with this sort of way of working. It's got some wonderful actors, Tom Clencari, Rosie Sheehy, a wonderful American actress called Mary Louise Parker, who you might know from The West Wing. She was in Weeds. People used to say to me, she's a 2-time Tony winner. And I was like, all right. Back off. She's amazing and a fantastic set and stuff. So I'm really loving it. I find theatre is such a great, it keeps you on your toes. It's something that gives back to you. It's like exercising different muscles.
You have to be fit to do it. I mean, imagine
this show, you really do. So this is the set is a glass house.
Yeah.
And it turns. So it's a bit like a Ray Cooney farce in the fact that the show backstage is just as important as the show front. So we're running upstairs, we're behind closed doors. When the doors open, there's quick changes, there's all that, there's throwing blood everywhere, Wow. So, yeah, it is. It's really something that you have to be fit for. And but that's also something that's such a joy to do.
And you're on until what? Late
19th of September we're on, and just round the corner from here. It's a great theatre. I've worked there before. I did Julius Caesar there a couple of years ago, and we're getting great houses. So come along.
Good stuff. You've just been doing. People have just seen you in Tiptoe, which was a dark part with Alan Cumming. Was that an enjoyable experience?
It was tough to do. It was it was about a guy who is. His neighbour becomes radicalised, and he is Alan Cumming plays this gay man in Manchester who runs a bar. I play his neighbour who gets radicalised on the internet, and Alan becomes the focus of my radicalisation, my hatred and anger at the world. And it is dark. What was really interesting about it, though, was it was portraying a very dark world. But it couldn't have been made in more collegiate circumstances. Everybody was there. I've known Alan for 40. In fact, we were neighbours.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I've known him for 40 years. Russell T Davies, great writer. So it was part of a trilogy that he started with Queer as Folk. Then he did It's a Sin. And this is sort of much darker end to that trilogy. But again, it was something that I really was very proud of. And working with Alan, working with someone who you've known for so long was such a joy. Really.
Yeah. We're massive fans in our house of Daddy Issues.
Oh, right. Yeah, I'm just about to start the third season.
Such a good show.
Yeah,
it's really
great.
Just before you did the first series, you came in.
Yeah, you hadn't seen it. I thought you'd seen it. That was right. I remember coming in, but you hadn't seen it then.
And you said to us, I'm working with Amy Lou Wood. She's going to be a massive star. Well, you called that right, didn't you, really?
Well, you could see it. I mean, she's such a joy to work with, and so sort of talented and bright, and sort of she's like a shapeshifter as well. She's also in the Beatles films as well.
Yes, I saw that. Yeah.
So we start that again. We start the third season at the beginning of October. So I'm really looking forward to that. But also, it's very different for me. Half-hour comedy. I always get to.
He's such a pathetic figure. And his friend is so horrible to him.
Yeah,
so brilliant that relationship.
He's that man-child person, really, and but he's got a good heart. I think he's trying. I think why we love him so much is he's there's not a bad bone in his body, really. He's just very naive and sort of has never grown up. He's a musician. He's a drummer in a band. So we all know those people.
And you've done a third Sherwood as well.
Yeah. So that's out at the end of the year. So that's again a show I've been attached to for a long time, and it takes those characters to a different place this time. James Graham, the writer, sets it in different arenas, and this time it's about the new housing builds in Nottingham and the sort of new estates that are going up, and the sort of dream of that versus the reality of what it's like to have those housing projects.
Will that be it, you think? Could there be a 4?
I don't know, actually. Never say never with James. I think, he'll wait for, if the story lands in his lap, I think he will want to do some more. It's a great, he's a wonderful writer, and I think it is a great way to explore what's going on in our current country.
Yeah.
So
we've given up asking actors what they're up to next because they said, well, I've signed something and I can't tell you. So is that the case?
No, I'm doing the Beatles movie. I can't tell you about that apart from the fact that I'm in it and I play Paul McCartney's dad.
Oh, brilliant.
I really love
I was about to ask you, haven't you managed to get a part in that? And of course
It's so brilliant to do. You know, as I say, I can't say much about it, but apart from the press release, but, you know, directed by Sam Mendes, who I just think is a genius. And it's 4 different films focusing
Are you
on
in
the
all 4?
No, I'm only, at the moment, I don't know where I am, but I think I'm in 2, you know, but, but it's really, I'm mostly obviously in Paul's, and with Paul Mascal, which is great. But also in the new year, I've got a drama coming out called The Siege, which was all about the 1980s Iranian embassy siege.
Wow.
We all got introduced to the SAS, you know, that famous...
Just read a book about that a short while ago.
Yeah, well, it's based on the Ben McIntyre book.
That's it.
That's our TV show is based on that book. So he's involved with us, the same guy who wrote the book about SAS Rogue Heroes. And, you know, I remember that footage so well of seeing those guys, you know, going, and we didn't know who the SAS were. And then
I think they interrupted the World Snooker Championship to bring it to you.
He
Didn't
says that great thing, Ted Lowe. He says from one embassy to another.
Yeah, keep it light, Ted. Blimey. Do you know what's going on? That's amazing.
So that's out in the new year, and that's me and Danny Dyer. So yeah.
Oh wow,
so
that was good.
So that's coming out. Yeah.
Danny plays the copper, doesn't he?
He plays the copper inside. And I play the copper outside.
Wow. Okay.
So it's because he gets bundled in by the guys who are taking everybody hostage.
Yeah, the book's great. Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, it's wonderful. Yeah, great.
We've got to talk Liverpool, Andy's a bit worried for you getting your set piece work. Really, I mean, Leeds doing you in the second. Are you
you're
concerned?
delighted. I should imagine.
Yeah,
I'm concerned.
Yeah, you can't worry about pre-season.
No, I'm a big fan of Iriola.
I am, but it's a different thing, isn't it? I mean, I think, you know, all those teams, you know, the Bournemouths, Brightons, so they're so well run. But part of their success, I think, it has to be it's the expectation levels of their fans. And it's very different at a club like Liverpool,
that's very
Tottenham
true.
and Chelsea, you know, so their idea of success is very different. And there's a bit of you're not in that pressure cooker as much. You're in a tough job and you're doing a great job. But I think, you know, Liverpool, I think his style of football is brilliant. But that Leeds result was we do have a lack of depth in the squad, but there's a long way to go.
Yeah, that's right. There's plenty of time.
Definitely.
Time to buy players.
And then I'm going to be seeing Jordan Henderson in the Chelsea's top. That's
Andy Robertson in the Tottenham shirt as well.
God, that as well. Yeah, it's all going to be.
It's interesting. How do you feel about the Henderson deal, Andy? I mean,
I said to you, David, I watched a lot of him for Brentford close up. He was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant for Brentford. And he does that sort of job.
Thiago Silva came into you at 36 and was pretty tidy, wasn't he?
You know, people are sort of taking the mickey because Chelsea signed all this. But before they were saying, why haven't they got any old players?
Yeah, you need a balance.
But also, Henderson has always been consistent. People give him a lot of stick. He's always been consistent with his managers. Every manager he's ever played for love him. So that's got to count for something. You know, it'll be interesting to see what he does once he does retire and hang his boots up, whether he becomes a great manager, because he's obviously got this dressing room sort of personality. So, you know, it'll be interesting.
You keep in faith with Virgil van Dijk, are you? He's been a very torrid end of season.
I do. I just think, you know, he's a talisman, but he's going to need support. I think that's our biggest problem, is that centre-back role and how we have cover for that. In fact, the whole defence, I think, is a worry for me. But I'm not pessimistic in any other part of my life apart from being a football fan. It's like what brings it out of me. So I am a bit nervous about it, but, you know.
Derek's been in touch. He said, I saw David in the play last night and it was immense. The whole cast put in an incredible performance and the 3 hours just whizzed by because you're gripped from start to finish.
Right, that's the review.
So that's what you want.
That's the review we want.
5 stars, says Derek in Margate. I'm all the way from Margate to watch it as well. That's good. So on to the Horace Dyer at the Bridge Theatre, which is a lovely theatre, isn't it?
It's great.
Really nice.
Fully air conditioned.
That's the important thing.
Important. I also like to do that Barry Hearn thing of, like, you know, you pay for a full seat, but you'll only use the edge of it.
That's fantastic. You can go and see it until the 19th of September, you said. Is that right? Yeah. Brilliant. Thanks for popping in, David, on your way to work. Have a good show, and we will catch up with you soon.
See you soon. All the best.
David Morrissey there. Yes, right. So Donald Trump cheating at golf again, apparently. He played at one of his own clubs and won the senior and super seniors divisions. He's only ever won tournaments at his own club. The seasoned, brilliant sports writer Rick Riley was so incensed by what he saw that he wrote a book, Commander-in-Chief, How Golf Explains Trump. So he's the only man really to speak to after this latest win. So we'll catch up with Rick shortly. We're here with Tool Station. Only got time for one stop. First Stop Tool Station. Just a reminder, at TSH&J, TSHANDJ, to vote for your clip of the month, and we'll play the winner just before 4 o'clock.
I speak to people here and there, good sources.
Mm-hmm.
The best thing I can say is that I know for a fact we're not going to rush. The window doesn't close until the beginning of September, end of August, beginning of September. We've got a lot of time to make decisions. And on top of that, we're not like other teams who desperately have to strengthen and anyone's better than their current team. If somebody comes into our team, they have to be the right personnel, the right players on the pitch, and they have to fit the vision of Arsenal Football Club. We haven't spent 7-8 years building this squad for anyone to come in and for it to be some kind of joke. So the likes of Bruno, great attitude. He can play, Mikel likes him versatile. He can play as a 6, he can play as an 8. He can play as a 10 if you really want him to as well.
His creativity is very underrated, Joel.
Exactly. And we all know what it gets like. When you're Arsenal Football Club, you're in every single competition, guys. Just to remind everybody, we only, didn't play 2 games out of the possible. All of the games that you could have played last season, we only didn't play 2 games. What games were they? Do you know?
It would be the League Cup final. Oh no, you played that.
You're wrong. That. You're wrong. Don't worry, Ollie. I'll correct.
Go on. Yeah, go on.
Semi-final of the FA Cup.
And
the final of the FA Cup.
Yeah, cool.
Okay. So that means that even if you've got 2 10s, Eze and Odegaard and how great they are, sometimes you need more players.
Well, we finished today congratulating President Donald Trump, who has won 2 titles at his own Bedminster course.
Tremendous.
In New Jersey.
Did he award himself a special green jacket?
Well, I think he may have done. I sent a video out of his winning shot on Truth Social, saying, boasting about his great talent as a golfer. Somebody might beg to differ. Has written a book called Commander in Chief: How Golf Explains Trump. It's a great read, highly recommended. And footage has emerged of Donald and his caddies. What looks like, allegedly, a little bit of skullduggery around the course. We're showing to it now on on our YouTube channel. Rick Riley joins us now. Hi, Rick.
The guy cheats like a 4-year-old playing Monopoly. I mean, the guy cheats like a mafia accountant. I've never seen anybody to just openly cheat. I've played with him. I'm going to cheat on my golf course? I own it.
It's mad, isn't
I mean,
it?
it's ridiculous.
He seems this is all sort of typical of his whole life, really. He's so bad that he's almost beyond reproach, and people don't seem to reproach him. People don't seem to do anything about it. They just accept it.
You know how you sometimes meet people with addictions like heroin and booze? This guy has a trophy addiction. Someone has to hand him a trophy every day. One time he was in a scramble. I don't know if you know what a scramble it is, but in a scramble, it's a team thing. You all play from the same ball. And his team finished last, but he said, he goes up to the tournament director and says, "I won the low individual." And the guy says, "There is no low individual, it's a team." He says, "I won it. Give me a trophy." And he's the president. So they had to go around the clubhouse and find a flower vase, threw the flowers out, handed him the trophy at the podium, and he gave a 20-minute speech about it.
You've obviously seen this footage, Rick, this recent footage. There's one bit, one of these caddy, I'm guessing he's in the bunker, just before he gets to the bunker, and he's looking into the bunker, a ball mysteriously appears out of his caddy's hand. Just obviously shy of the bunker. So,
Look, he's got he chips like Edward Scissorhands. He's got terrible. He can't chip at all. He putts like Stevie Wonder. He has a pretty good long game. So whenever he gets in a bunker or in long grass, they just throw him a new one, and then he chips that on. If he doesn't like it, he chips it again, and then they kick it kind of towards the hole, and the opponent's ball he throws into other people's bunkers, and it's just a complete crap show. And yet at the end, he wants to say, "Hey, I'm the winner." And if you say he's the winner, then the rest of your day goes well. That's why you see all those people at his clubs go, "Yay, Donald!" It's like when you have a 3-year-old at his birthday party and there's a race and he didn't win, and he says, "I won, right?" And you're like, "Yeah, you won," because you don't want him to cry the rest of the party.
Amazing, isn't it?
He's not alone in this. We've mentioned it before, Rick. There's a whole litany of US presidents that have cheated at golf, isn't there?
Well, I've played with a bunch of them, and yeah, they cheat a little. It's like I played with Clinton, and he cheated like a little bit, like the guy who goes into the bank and steals the pen. But Trump goes into the bank and steals the vault. I mean, he steals everything.
Is it so? He's definitely the worst of the presidential cheats. There's no one to touch him. Would you say no?
He's the worst. Like saying Elon Musk is maybe the richest. He is by far the worst, and I've played with him. First of all, this whole club championship thing where he says he won 43 club championships, this all started when he told me he won 12. And I'm like, no way on earth. Boris Johnson pole vaults before you win 12 club championships. and he goes, no, what I do is I buy a golf course, and then I play the first round by myself, and I call that the club championship. And since then, he's just been lying and cheating to get it. So he gets to 26, right? And then suddenly he just skips 10. And the next one is 37. We're like, what happened to the 26 through 36? And then he skips 38, 39, 40, 41. And now apparently these two are 42 and
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Is he aware of your book? Did you send him a copy? Has he ever spoken to you about it?
I did send him a copy. Oh yeah, he's quite aware. While I was writing it, I was talking to a lot of his friends, and he called one day, and the caddy picked up on the course. Riley, or they're out. Meanwhile, I'm standing right there. It was great.
Oh, wow. Well, look, Rick, always a pleasure. We both really enjoyed the book, and he's the gift that keeps on giving, so I'm sure we'll be chatting to you again. But for now, thanks for joining us.
Bad. I'm making money every time this guy says he won a tournament. I sell another 10,000 books, but I don't know. Maybe I'll use it to vote for some other candidate.
Good stuff. Thank you. That's Rick Riley there, the author of Commander-in-Chief, How Golf Explains Trump. It's been out for a few years, but, Donald's still at it. So, as he says, he keeps selling the books. So it's time now to bring you the winner of the clips of the month. Thank you for everybody who voted. And I believe this is a first, Andy.
Oh, yes.
Let's just get the figure up. I'm just going to go.
Not a tie, was it?
No, it wasn't that. No, we've had ties before.
Oh, yeah.
The winner this time around is from Times Radio.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, right. Sorry.
That's right.
I thought. Yeah. No.
It's the clip with. So we'll bring you this. It's Stig Abel and Kate McCann on the Breakfast Show on Times Radio, and they were discussing people getting overly amorous around the swimming pool.
I was at the Lido the other day. You get the whistle blown if you're petting in the pool.
No.
It wasn't at me, incidentally. I wasn't doing that. Someone else was.
So someone was snogging in a pool near you?
And they got the whistle blown.
There we are. So there we are. That
Yes.
that edged out Shaban and Sean Dyche. So well done to Stig and to Kate for getting the clip of the month here on Talk Sport. Thanks for everybody who voted. That is us. Charlie and Max with you tomorrow. I'll be back on Thursday for the return of the birthday spread. And Andy, how's it going so far? All right.
Well, I'm about to start on it.
Oh, okay, right. Yeah, got to get his homework done late.
Yeah.
Don't forget, the big man is back tomorrow morning on breakfast from 6 a.m. Alan Brazil returns to Talk Sport. We wish him well, and we'll catch up with you on Thursday. But coming up next, it's Adiola Depot and Rory Jennings with Drive.
It's interesting, this situation with Vinicius Junior, because there were some reports of the weekend that he'd agreed personal terms with Arsenal. Rock Nation, who represent the Real Madrid star, have released a statement hitting out fake news. They said Rock Nation Sports International and our entire team cannot stand idle when unprofessional and uninformed media publish fake and damaging information for attention-seeking purposes. This is especially unacceptable when it personally targets our clients without any foundation. It's disruptive, harmful and libelous, they say. Media outlets and journalists need to hold themselves more accountable. Now, if Vinicius Junior was that keen on a move to Arsenal, would his agency really have gone so strong in the statement?
No, I think. Look, they've been playing the game, haven't they? Let's be honest. I think Vinicius Junior wants to stay in Real Madrid. I think that's where he sees himself. He's probably using Arsenal to some extent to try and, get probably another 100 grand more on his already probably £1 million a week contract. So for me, Crookie, I think I'm expected that he's going to be staying at Real Madrid. I'll be very surprised if we see him in the Premier League and playing for Arsenal next year.
It's a real tall order, isn't it, for any club in the Premier League to tempt a player from Real Madrid. I was speaking over the weekend. I think it was Darren Goff maybe who made the point, or maybe Tony Cascarino. Dennis Bergkamp in the mid-90s when he left Inter Milan, Serie A was the powerhouse then of European football, to join Arsenal was a real surprise. Would this be comparable?
I think it would be, yeah. I think it's probably bigger.